It says we're live now, so.
Welcome to the All About Nothing podcast. The views expressed on this program are the opinions of the hosts. Listeners are encouraged to follow the show on Twitter at AAN_pod or at theallaboutnothing.com. You can email the show at theallaboutnothing.com. You may also call and leave the show a message at 803-672-0533. Thank you for listening.
All right, welcome back, everybody. All About Nothing podcast. Zach King, Trent Clark, and also tonight we have Zach's sister, Shelbie King. Welcome, Shelbie.
Hi.
Hi.
Welcome, Shelbie. Are you ready?
Welcome.
Yes.
You ready?
Good.
What is Zach's favorite color? And if you say pink, we've already guessed it.
It is pink.
I was actually going to say purple, but
There you go. Purple, orange, maybe a little orange tossed in.
yes, definitely. He bleeds purple and orange.
I knew it.
On to the letter C, I think. Okay.
Definitely.
All right, Zach.
We
Hey,
figured it out.
we were off for a couple of weeks. How was that? That was almost like a scheduled vacation.
No, man.
Enjoyed?
It was weird.
I went to Tennessee.
Yeah. How was
nice.
Tennessee? Yeah.
They got
That's
this.
great.
They got this like old classic car collection thing that they do up there. So I got up there the week before that was happening. So,
All right.
I mean, it's a good thing and a bad thing because all the old cars, they want to be shown off. So they'll park on all in the spots that you want to be parked in. So you have to pay for other things to park. So it's not actually a good thing to go up there whenever that's happening.
That's
so,
the worst. They take up
yeah.
every hotel room and all that too.
Yeah, it's like, dang, can
Where
I
in
park somewhere?
Where in Tennessee were you?
I was in Pigeon Forge, but we went to Gatlinburg and other places like that.
Wait,
so.
you didn't go through Knoxville, did you?
Oh no, didn't go through Knoxville. Didn't have to go through.
They got a tiger on the loose unless they've caught it. I haven't heard they've caught it.
Hey man,
That's some wild shit.
I don't know Tony and I don't know the tiger, so
Well, question about that car show. Were there any Dodge Chargers?
Oh yes, I seen an RT.
Charger
An
RT,
old
huh?
school RT. My old school
Dukes
RT.
of Hazzard.
Hey, is that you know the funny thing about it?
What's that?
It was stick shift.
Yeah, because back in the day, that's what you had to do.
Yeah.
They don't make stick shifts and Chargers
you can
anymore.
modify your new car.
They don't make.
I
stick
mean, you
shifts
can
and
pay for it,
Chargers.
sir.
No, you can't.
You can pay for it.
Yeah, if I go down to Gas Monkey, be like, I want to really go back in time. Can you throw me a 6-speed in there? I'd like to really.
I drive a 6-speed right now.
She
Bam.
drives a Jeep.
Oh,
No, it's
that's still
perfectly
six,
fine.
brother.
Oh Jesus Christ! I was driving sticks before you were driving, Trent. Okay.
I don't remember that.
Shelby and I are in the Cobra Mustang Club. She knows I can drive.
True story.
Shout out to Joe. Shelby, this guy at work drives like
I remember the
2013
Kobe.
GT500, and it is beautiful.
Sick.
Beautiful.
One day.
Where Shelby got her name, if you ask my father, that's where
Yes.
she got her name, Carol Shelby.
All right.
Yep.
All right.
And
Just spelled differently.
If you ask my mother, where did your name come from, Shelby? Shelby!
Open your eyes, Shelby. Open your eyes.
Open
Steal
your
that
eyes,
noise.
Shelby. Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. It's terrible.
So
She's
we
a
know
VIE.
now we now know where Trent was. Zach, what were you doing? I know you had a wedding to go to, I think.
Oh, yeah. I was best man at Keith's wedding. Socially distant wedding, only 20 people. It was in Hilton Head. Still have the $200 charge pending on my credit card for incidentals. So I'm waiting for that to fall off, or I'm gonna go back to Hilton Head and start smashing things.
No, brother, that's the COVID price.
No, it's called incidentals, and incidentally, there was nothing. So we need to figure that out.
That's the essential pay. Essential.
It's pending, so it better come off, or I'm gonna
The
be
PPE
fighting.
charge.
Yeah.
Was there a lot of protective personal equipment being used?
Yes, there was, but not by the drunk people at the pool. So I went to the pool one time and then left. I was like,
Alcohol
"Yes,
kills
okay.
everything. It's fine.
Did they
right.
put the remote in a plastic bag whenever you got there? Because some
No, they
hotels are
had
doing
these
that.
new remotes that are self-sanitizing, like
So they spray
weird.
themselves? Remote
No,
sprays?
we had, even at our work, we have self-sanitizing buttons and stuff like that, and self-sanitizing. I don't trust it for shit, so I wipe it down. Like I have a bag of alcohol. I wipe my own stuff down. Okay.
Hold on. Where we work, we have some self-sanitizing thing.
Beer's like, I don't know about
so the
that.
elevator buttons are self-sanitizing buttons, and the doors that have the wraps on them when you go into the bathroom or the bar doors, those are self-sanitizing pads.
Okay. All right.
Beer's like, hold on.
I do recognize those. I just didn't realize. I didn't realize what it was
I just
for.
never read it. I just put my hand right on it.
Look, I kicked the door open with my foot anyway. I never touched that thing. So
Well, that was last weekend. This weekend was my baby's room is now finished. Shelby being the only one here who's actually seen it, but not in person.
that's awesome. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
the crib
What about
came from
what-
her, and then we assembled the changing table and laid down. It's very pink in there. It's very bright in there. It's like the theme is pink and gold and white and gray.
And we're pretty sure you pick those colors, right?
Oh, all of them. I've been working very hard
Okay.
on this color.
Don't give Gabriella no credit. She don't know.
No, that's all her, man.
I know.
All her and happenstance together. They work great.
Shelby, you know Zach for many more years than the rest of us, and you
Yes.
have children. Do you feel as though Zach is prepared for what's coming?
Zach is the most prepared soon-to-be father I know, to be honest. Like, as much as I want to dig, he is. He kept my son once a day, or one day a week when he was an infant, when I was working. Like, no, he's just, he's going to be great. I can't wait.
And he's still alive with zero trauma. Thank you.
I mean, there
Shelby.
were some questionable incidents. I mean, I'm just kidding.
I'm about to say it's got to be one.
How many plates of spaghetti did you let him eat until
Yeah.
he said, "I'm done"?
Zach, you do have to change the diaper, okay?
Oh, wow.
It's not self-sanitizing. I'm just
yeah.
kidding. I'm just kidding.
That's quick.
First
That
person
is
out
quick.
there doing that's ready for it. See,
Oh,
right there. Shelby's right.
for
right
sure.
there.
You know what? Though? It's going to wind up coming from the My Pillow guy. You know this,
Oh
right?
my
I mean, it's
God.
going to be the My Pillow guy who puts that out.
Oh, then what
Oh,
would you
God.
name it?
Man.
Now we got to call Taylor and be like, "What do you name a self-cleaning diaper?"
Self-sanny fanny.
So
There.
Sandy,
Self-sanny
Nice.
fanny.
Just saying.
hey,
Nice.
man,
Fanny.
I think it runs in the family.
It does.
I think it runs in the family. The naming
Listen,
thing.
The naming thing tripped Trent out, especially when we have to now refer, and I forgot we are messing it up. We have to refer to Barrett as DJ Fuzzy Nuts.
Did you DJ Fuzzy Nuts? That is right. Oh my, bro! My one clip that I put on Instagram. So many people hit me up saying that is the most hilarious thing they've ever heard.
We're
It was
very-
fantastic.
Very trim and shaved. So just look. After that, I felt a little embarrassed. I'm not sure where Taylor found that out, but no.
You have a fans only site, don't you?
A fans only. Should
Do you think we afford to pay for all of this?
Ben Barrett showing his
The-
fuzzy nuts off
the-
for his face.
The All About Nothing should definitely have an OnlyFans page. What are you saying? We should already have a
We
page.
should.
Shelby, just put up your hand if you
Put up
feel
that-
like it's them.
Golly.
We'll just
I'm
put up
used to
clips.
it.
We'll just
I'm
put
sure.
up clips of us doing this show with our shirts off. That'd be our OnlyFans stuff.
Look, it's gonna be this. It's gonna be this every episode.
Welcome to All About Nothing, the podcast.
Oh my gosh.
All right. So let me just say, and I'm gonna need some help on this because you guys are gonna have to draw from memory as well. But over the last 2 weeks, it has been unbelievably busy, and we'll get into some of the Ruth Bader Ginsburg stuff here in just a minute because I definitely have some opinions on exactly what we're about to go through. But I did read Bob Woodward's book Rage, and I am ultimately confused as to exactly how I should interpret most of the book. I feel like Bob Woodward's a good journalist, but at the same time, man, it paints just some of the darkest light. I mean, it's unbelievably confusing how a man like Donald Trump, the character in the subject of this book, how he gets through his day just based on some of the things that you read in this book. I'm currently trying to get through the rest of the Room Where It Happened, John Bolton's book, and it is not an easy read. It is unbelievably slow, and I can't even remember most of the people that keep talking about it.
I assumed that book went smooth as sandpaper to go read through it. I wasn't even gonna even try. For those who don't know, you need to explain Woodward what he does. That this is
okay. So Bob Woodward, he's basically a historian, historian writer. He basically every couple years during a presidency will come out with a book that is sort of a glimpse into the of a time frame in a presidency. So during Obama's presidency, I think he wrote 3 or 4 books. I think Bill Clinton, he wrote 2 or 3 books. Bush had 2 or 3, 4 books written. And basically what they mostly amount to is interviews with that particular president about something that's going on during that time frame. So this particular book focused in on a good portion of Rage, Bob Woodward's book, focused in on a good portion of the beginning of President Trump's presidency, and then it went to the second 3/4 of it. I'm sorry, the second half of it transitioned over into basically trying to get information or interviews and things like that with people like Lindsey Graham and Steve Mnuchin and things like that. Basically people and the president about what's going on with the pandemic and things like that. And it's interesting to read it. It was again, I'm thoroughly uncomfortable with the person that the president is portrayed as in this. It's really it's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable.
Other than the headlines, what is something that stood out to you personally that you read in the book?
I think legitimately that based on what was written in the book, the president is extremely disconnected from the responsibilities of the job. I feel like he is more concerned about his reelection than having to actually focus on specific portions of the job. And look, I'm not the president. I don't know how difficult the job would be if I were. I think it would probably be pretty difficult. I feel like that because the president is so disconnected from what that job is and potentially any job. I don't know if he's ever really had to work. His name has pretty much sold everything he ever had to sell.
Foundation was for him.
He definitely built a brand. If we're talking about building a brand, like he can just say I'm Donald Trump, and a lot of doors open up for that. For being real.
But yeah, it's if you want, I've got the audiobook too, if anybody wants to check that out. But there is a severe disconnection in the responsibilities of the job and what President Trump does. I mean, he even talked about like it's as current as the Tulsa rally where Herman Cain got infected with COVID-19 and then passed away a month later. I mean, it's as current as the president very excited about the fact that he's having this rally in June in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And it, like I said, it's weird that he's so excited about getting in front of these rallies and things like that, where there's so much information, science and medical experts saying, these rallies are not a good idea with people not wearing masks and being packed into these arenas like sardines.
Then it being the total disconnect with Juneteenth and the Tulsa massacre and all that. I just felt like
I wouldn't expect that out of him. I would.
Well, no, you hope that there's people behind him going like, it's a bad idea.
See, that's where the issue is.
But I think he wanted to ruffle some feathers. with letting that out. I think that was tactical. Come on.
Shitting on people, no matter who the people, doesn't. There's no progress being made.
No,
but look at the people that love it. Like, look at the base. Look at his bases. Trump's base supporters are just absolutely engaged in situations where it looks like someone is being targeted as an issue or targeted as an irritant or whatever. I mean, look, we work with an individual who all he has to hear is Trump doesn't care. Trump doesn't like this. Trump doesn't care about people. All he has to hear is that, and it immediately launches into a tirade about how that's not even what's important. The president doesn't have to care about anybody. I differ.
It's your job.
But
Yeah.
so
you literally have a country full of people to care about.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry, but literally my neighbor. I don't live in the most Trump-free neighborhood. I do have neighbors that
all of us do.
I know it's more than what people want to give credit to. That's the crazy thing about it. It's like
what's funny is like when you drive past that house, you're like, oh fuck, I didn't know you were crazy.
No, absolutely. I absolutely feel like that if I see someone hanging a Trump flag in front of their house, or they have the Trump signs in front of their house, I feel like ultimately that is my right to be able to go, oh, I know what that guy's about. I know exactly.
We're not trick-or-treating there. Yeah, we're not trick-or-treating there. We're going to skip that house.
Well, my girl was walking down this, during the pandemic, a lot of people start walking more. So we start walking the neighborhood, and the closer we get to the election, the more Trump flags just start pumping out of nowhere. Like, did somebody come by and just drop these off somewhere? Or this is how y'all feeling now?
It really makes you wonder, because there wasn't... us Obama fans weren't flying Obama flags.
There was no flags for Obama. Like,
we had
believe
me,
we would have had him at Chapin. I would have had him clearly.
Look, I'll be honest. My neighborhood's fairly diverse, and there's I live next door to a couple from right next door to Dominican Republic. They're Dominican. So we live next door to a Dominican family, across the street from Black family, and another Black family across the street from us. And then next door is a family that I would consider to be less responsive to how do I want to say this? They see that our neighborhood is becoming much more diverse, and it has caused them to want to move.
Oh, really?
I see my neighborhood as being more diverse. And when I mow people's yards, they cook for me. And the food is so much better.
Dude, that's the best thing about culture, bro. Absolutely.
They use spices. not just a sprinkle of salt and a sprinkle of pepper. Like, yo, that's it.
Yeah, we talked. Didn't we? I think Barrett and I went over it. But Trent, did you? I feel like you were there where we talked about Chadwick Boseman being King T'Challa on Black Jeopardy.
Yes.
And
yes,
the potato salad thing.
Yes,
God, it's so true. It's like, dude, when someone from where other places in the country or other ethnicities, you eat their food, you're like, dude, what have I been doing? What have I been eating? What's going on?
Well, I too, Barrett, live in a diverse neighborhood. It's actually white on this side, white on this side, white on that side, white on that side, and I'm the Black guy in the middle.
Okay,
so I bring the diversity.
If you're setting the bar as to the diversity, we need to increase the diversity.
It's like, I think it's like two Black families up the street. They live right beside each other. That's crazy. That just never happens.
Well, see, Trent, I'll come rolling through your neighborhood and just roll the window down and put my face out, and they'll be like, "What is that Puerto Rican Muslim, Pakistani? What is that guy? He's got a beard and dark hair. What's his deal?" I got super searched to the airport for it, so it's not
true story.
Not That's instantly crazy. Considered white.
You get searched at the airport for being accused of not white.
Oh, I don't know. I was in a line of white people and they pulled me out, and I had a big beard and I was wearing a U.S. Special Forces hat.
Oh, so that's suspicious.
Oh, and the dude
suspicious.
Well, and the dude told me too that you can't wear that hat, and I said it says United States Special Forces.
That is a little
How does he
suspicious, man.
How does he know you can't wear that hat?
That's like me walking into the airport with an FBI hat on. It's not gonna go good. You're like, are you FBI?
Sir, this is a female embody inspector hat. Okay, I don't know what you were thinking it was. No, I was like, why is this happening? Like, and the dude told me I can't wear that hat and like take off your shirt. I'm like, I don't have it. No wire, sir. Like,
he made you take off your shirt.
Oh, and dude, in like front of people, they didn't even put up blinders. Like, see what happens when you look funny. I'm like,
next time, go to the line in a whole cop outfit and see if they say anything.
Bro, I'm gonna wear a burqa next time and be like, surprise.
Which airport?
You were super young too.
This was an airport in California.
Full beard. How long?
Yeah, it wasn't LAX or nothing. It's whatever is nearest to San Jose, San Francisco.
He's had a beard since he was like 12.
Yeah.
So.
No,
San Jose has an airport.
There's people I meet from high school and they're like, "Oh, what do you remember about me from high school? Like, you were always the guy with the beard. You and your Kevin, the other guy. Like, it's like, cool.
That was a big thing. Beard in high school. You don't understand. Like, the meter drew you up a little bit when you had a beard in high school. Mm-hmm. I still don't have a beard. I'm still currently trying to connect. It's not. It's been 3 months without a haircut since the coronavirus, and I'm still not connected. So I'm getting pissed off.
Yeah, I couldn't grow. I don't think I could grow a beard in high school. In fact, I think I remember there were times where I may have grown like a mustache and goatee thing that my mother and Mom, if you're listening now, I sincerely apologize because honestly, I didn't know what it was that I was doing to our family or what that potentially looked like outside the house. I sincerely apologize. It was traumatic. Sure.
Is that a bird in the background?
You didn't know till you saw your son and you were like, oh no. No, you got to take that off. You go out in public, people are going to talk.
People are going to talk.
I just remember. I remember my mother talking about, like, there was one kid in particular that I was in school with that I was pretty close friends with, and she would just talk about how evil he looked. He had this really, really thick mustache, and the goatee was he took care of it. I mean, it was crisp. It was. You know, if he was a Bond villain, it would have been perfect.
Oh, really?
But as a 16, 17-year-old that required a ride to school, I think I see where she's coming from now. It was a little disturbing and a little much for a 15, 16-year-old. So,
well, I had to coax my dad and with my mother's help to like let me shave off what was growing on my lip and face when I was 13 years old. I think I was newly 13. And I was like, I have to shave. I went to my dad, like, it's time to tell me. I kind of get how it works.
It's time to tell me that
it's not complicated, but any tips and tricks you got, please let me have some of them. And I was like, ever since then. And then it got to the point, dude, maybe like 2 to 3 years later, until this day, everyone's seen the Santa Claus with Tim Wilson. I shave it off. It comes back within 2 days.
Oh, yeah, I'm the same way.
Like, just, all right. Then what am I fighting here? I have to trim it. We did pictures today. I just trimmed everything and shaved the neck and make sure that the hairline does not connect to the beard line, and we're good.
Okay.
No connection.
You have a stylist for that. You have an in-house stylist for that.
She's very pregnant. I don't even want to ask her to like get up out of the bed because she's like, the other day she's like, I wish I had like a bar here to like help me out. And I was like, dude, I'm your bar. That's all you have.
Dude, I'm your bar.
Like, grab me. I got you. But like, it's
God put me here in this room to help you get out of bed.
There's no way I'm going to be like, she cut my hair before the wedding. She was like, come in, we'll do this. Other than that, I don't go to her and be like, can you brush my hair like in a good way? Like, I don't know. Like,
you did look very snazzy for the wedding, I must say.
Oh, thank you.
Sir. Pictures on Facebook.
Those were great pictures.
I appreciate it.
You didn't look like you were social distancing in the pictures, though. I will say that.
Keith and Rachel are in my bubble, we call it. So that's the only people I go out and see. Trent, that's why you haven't gotten your Susto gear. And Justin, I know you're watching. Thank you.
Oh, because I ain't in your bubble.
Yeah, you're not in my bubble, bro.
So that no one thinks that Zach did not give the merch away. I do have mine.
Well, it's making you look bad, guys, because the only black guy doesn't have his merch, and it's looking a little funny.
You're in Tennessee,
just got awkward.
and you were in Tennessee. Things exploded, and I had to wash your gear.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You saw a GTO.
I'll let you go. I'll let y'all have it because y'all work in the same spot. But other than that,
Trent,
I'm
gonna give you your stuff. I swear to God, it was in my book bag.
Look, Justin, I'm gonna give you my own address because these guys, they don't care about us.
That's a lie.
I do.
Damnable lie.
I'm just playing, man. I love you guys, man.
I seriously went to work and I was like, Barrett, I gotta tell you what happened. I was like, I feel fucking horrible right now.
Really bad.
Because
Barrett.
He looked genuinely upset. In fact, I felt like I was gonna have to like console him, and I'm not exaggerating. And Zach, don't let me embarrass you, but I thought there was a potential he was gonna cry. He was that upset. There were tears. There were tears streaming. The snot was coming out of his nose. It was covering his mustache. It was really gross.
Just like a little kid, I was like, I'm gonna throw up.
Look, he FaceTimed me earlier that week and didn't tell me nothing about it.
Well, I accidentally FaceTimed you. Like,
it was an accident. So you know what? You know who FaceTimed me, Barrett? It was his conscience that FaceTimed me.
I FaceTimed you back once you FaceTimed me back. I was like, oh, maybe I was
like, oh, maybe I might have my Susto gear coming that I can wear on the show.
I think it was like 11:30 at night.
It was pretty late. I was like, why is Zach calling me right now? And then he calls me. He's like, you called me? I'm like, you called me? What do you mean? He's like, all right, well, since we're talking, such and such.
I think I did say I have your stuff.
You did say you had my stuff.
So
I don't think it had happened yet. Dude,
this happened like Thursday.
Yeah, and I left on Friday for Tennessee. So yeah,
I was infuriated. I instantly put it in the dishwasher.
The dishwasher. That's what you think of my stuff?
Dishwasher. No, I put it in the washer machine and like made a load. I was like, please be fine. Please be fine. It does. It's fine.
Thank you, Zach. Fine. Thank you, Justin, for sending the gear. I will soon get it after it is dried.
I would be wearing the shirt right now had I not worn it twice already. It is now in the dirty laundry.
Understand.
And they're awesome. Trent, you have the same shirt Barrett has.
Okay.
We did
it?
We did.
Yeah, let me see what I might get, Barrett.
You will get. I got a sticker for you too.
Oh, we got stickers?
Okay. Yeah.
Nice. That's nice. I got some shirts that'll match that too. Is that orange?
Yeah, it's orange.
It is.
He already told us he was like a Clemson fan.
Yeah, he was a Clemson fan, so you know
he's a Bose fan. He's a South Carolina.
Oh, he's a Bose fan. Yeah. I mean, that's still showing love. That just means when he goes to South Carolina and does tours, he doesn't want just Clemson fans coming. He wants everybody to come.
Well, I'll tell you what's funny, Trent, is like that it came with 3 stickers, and I was like, it came to my house, so I'm picking the sticker I want.
Well, you picked the shirt too.
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay,
he went by sizes, so I got a different shirt than y'all because I the sizes donated.
What size you got?
I have XL.
Well, that's my size too. I need that.
You said L. I told Barrett right now if that shirt wasn't correct, I'm giving you my large one that I have.
He did say that.
That's real. I respect that.
Yeah, so now that we're caught up on you guys and your
we gotta ask Shelbie what did she do in her last 2 weeks. That's what we gotta do. We gotta ask Shelbie what she do her last 2 weeks.
Raised kids and more kids and cleaned and more kids. That's what I did.
Well, sounds like the little lady that lived in the shoe.
Seriously though, my own little bubble of my house.
Well, part of the other weekend, our 2 weeks collided was the birthday party of the youngest child.
That's right.
Wow.
That was fun.
Miss Sassafras.
Did he just turn 2?
She
just turned 2?
Yeah, she did on September 12th.
Wow. Okay.
She so we had leftover birthday cake, obviously. And so the next 2 days she got a piece. Every time we handed her a piece, she wanted us to sing happy birthday. And then like we would start singing it, Eli and I, and we would be halfway through it and she'd be like, "Kay, like stop now. Like, okay, I've had enough of that song."
No, if
So-
you're not putting a candle and lighting it on fire.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
like
I
it's
need
not the
to
same as it was the other day, you know.
Right. Exactly.
No one's clapping. There's not
Nobody's
people
glad.
here.
Yeah. No,
Congratulations.
Shelby, I understand that situation. I have birthdays coming up in a couple weeks, 2-3 weeks. So
That's crazy.
and they're twins. So yeah.
Oh, you gotta
Yeah,
go
man.
all out.
And then it's like right before Christmas, so you really
Yes.
got it bad, brother. Like you gotta hit Chris, you
Oh,
gotta
yeah.
hit the birthday, 2 birthdays, and then you gotta hit
We're visiting
2
Goodwill.
Christmas.
We're visiting Goodwill like 2 or 3 times a week now. Just prepare.
Well, I'm sorry that we didn't do the podcast last week, but I could have let everybody knew that it was having a tot trade at the Jamil Temple.
Actually, we had stuff being sold over there too.
Oh,
But
y'all did too. Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
But I will say the reason that there was no short episode last week was technical difficulties on my end. Literally, I had this computer doing some upgrade that required 2.5 hours. And then I had my laptop doing another upgrade that I thought was going to be done in time. Actually, no, I take it back. It did finish in time. The problem
other
is that I don't have the same setup on this one as I do on this one. So there was no recording Zach and I at the same time because Zach was willing to sit there and
Sound
smile
check.
and laugh at jokes and whatnot.
That was nothing but the that was nothing but the podcast gods saying, "Hey, y'all just wait on Trent to come on back, and then we're gonna get right back to schedule program."
No, it's seriously,
That's what it was.
it was like I now know what it was like to go watch like Charlie Chaplin. It was just whatever music I had playing, and Barrett going like it's not working.
It's like it's not working.
I
That is
got my
a pretty
popcorn.
good-
I'm like,
That is
Figured
a
it
pretty
out,
good
figured it out.
representation of exactly what it looked like. It was a lot of for
That's
those not
hilarious.
watching at home, there was me imitating silence.
yeah.
My 2 weeks, I purchased, as you guys know, I purchased a kayak a few weeks ago, and I have spent the last couple weekends going out on the Saluda River. And I've got some videos that I've put up from a few of the trips. Today was a mistake. Hurricane Sally came through Columbia just 3 or 4 days ago. I mean,
Yeah, I
we-
don't think it's a week lit yet there. You know, the water's still racing through that.
Oh no, get ready, Trent. Get ready,
places
Trent.
like North Carolina.
yeah. I fully admit that I may have made a mistake. It was look. There's a website you can go to see what the water levels are at, and the website that I went to clearly indicated that the water level was almost back to normal based on how much water had come. Again, I made a mistake. I went out this morning by myself. And I could tell the water was moving at a pretty good clip, but I went out anyway. So I went across, and there's a creek that comes in on the Lexington side. That there I saw a crane, and the crane had just picked up a fish. So I was paddling over so that I could see this. And
Hold on. Pause.
Sure.
You said a crane? Oh, like the bird.
Like a bird. Yeah.
Oh, I was like, where are you at, Barrett? Like, where are you?
Totally.
He's in Fallout. He's just like, oh, crane.
Totally in nature.
Okay.
There was a bird.
Oh,
A bird had just picked a fish out of the water.
Yeah.
And I got a couple pictures of it, and after I scared the bird off with some noise I made, I started going back out, and I said, well, what I'm going to do today is, because the water level is so high, I don't think I'm just going to run the shoals. I think what I'll do is I'll see if I can't paddle all the way up to the to the dam, or almost to the dam. When I'm paddling and I'm trying to get up there, but I just can't get to it. So as I'm going, I get out of the kayak onto a sandy shoal, and I'm walking through the water. The video will show, but the problem is that I can't actually get back into the kayak on relatively dry land. I'm sitting basically in the water every point, and I get pushed back downstream. So I make the decision, all right, you know what? It's high enough let me just see if I can paddle through this.
I'd have paid money.
I
to
made a
watch
mistake.
this.
The water going straight up water that's coming at you. If you go any direction left or right, it's gonna exaggerate that,
Thank you.
and it wound up pushing me to the point where I'm now perpendicular with the water, and the water is starting to come over the edge. And then I just lean just enough where the water
Did
goes.
you think you were like Schwarzenegger and Running Man, that you could just like go upstream like I'm a bad dude? Here I go.
I don't know what I thought I was. I clearly thought that I was not 41. Is really in the end what I thought I wasn't.
Hey, look, man, I'm gonna let y'all have y'all sports because
Play that beautiful bean footage. We got it.
our brother still can't swim. Our brother still can't swim. I'm not.
Trent,
I'm
I
not
will teach you how to swim, Trent. This is
No,
ridiculous.
I don't care if you taught me how to swim. I'm not getting in no kayak. Never. You're gonna tell me I'm gonna put something. I'm gonna ride something where I put my feet in. So if I fall underwater and I'm underwater and my feet are still in this thing, no, brother.
They have sit on
no.
kayaks. They have sit on.
Well, look at it.
They do.
I'm not sitting on. I'm not getting in. Neither one. I will never get like. My
Turns out they're
girlfriend-
just floaties.
Look, my
You got a
girlfriend-
life
we went
vest
to
on, like, isn't this great?
me and my girlfriend went to California. She was like, let's do this. Let's do the kayaking with the sharks. I'm like, why would we do that? Like,
I'm not even wide enough.
are
to
we
do that.
trying to be shark bait? Like, what is I don't understand.
No, fuck
Yeah.
no.
No. All right. I tell you what, we're gonna go to break here in just a second, but I'm gonna pull this up.
Here we go.
I'm gonna pull this up so that you can see it. It's again. This is a basket full of stupid. Is what happened here. And
You got it on tape?
Yeah.
Oh, this is genius.
here you
This
go.
is
So
genius.
this is me trying to paddle up river. And
Where's Bob Saget when you need him?
this is pretty close to the point at which everything goes wrong. Here we go.
Oh, see, this is what I'm talking about. This is exactly what I would be
But look,
freaking
Trent,
out here.
Look, Trent.
Like right here, I wouldn't be
He's
able to turn back
fine.
over. No, I wouldn't be able to turn back over. That's what you're not understanding. I'll be under that water like,
That's exactly what I said, though. I would be like,
All you
Oh,
have to
God.
do is bail out. You just bail out. You just slide right out.
You're not
Barrett, it
harnessed
sounds
in.
easy whenever you're doing a lot, okay? I'm not doing it.
I was asked if I panicked, if there was anything, and I said, sure. I didn't like flipping over, and I didn't like
Oh my God.
the camera doesn't work right. But you just slide out and you just
Oh my God.
handle the situation.
I'd had a bag of turds in my pants.
If
I'm
you
telling
go
you right
back,
now.
if you go back and watch that video, apparently, if you go back and watch that video, though, I'm gonna have to put the explicit tags on there because there was a lot of cussing. All right. We're gonna take a break real quick. And before we do that, just real quick, I have to let me do this live commercial because I know I told the guy I would do it. This All About Nothing podcast is brought to you by Zach Williams, certified massage therapist at the White Knoll Chiropractic and Wellness Center. Zach is a veteran of the United States Army and is very attentive to his patients, their health, and their well-being. Appointments are available by calling 803-727-4520. And as a special to our listeners, mention that you heard this ad. Zach will give you 25% discount on your first appointment. That's 25% off your first appointment. Just mention the code All About Nothing. Again, appointments are available at the White Knoll Chiropractic and Wellness Center near Red Bank. You can give Zach a call to schedule an appointment. Again, 803-727-4520. All right, we will take a break and come back here in just a few minutes. That's it. We'll be right back.
For anyone doubting that opportunity still exists in America, there's the story of Jamie Harrison, faith, family, and service. Those are Jamie's guiding values, and we need them now more than ever. Jamie Harrison for Senate for South Carolina.
Finally back in stock, the Make America Great After facial covering. With COVID-19 and the novel coronavirus back in full force, confirmed infection cases on the rise, and now Trump campaign rallies starting again, you'll want to get your order in before these highly desirable coverings run out. Available in 3 sizes: adult, large adult, and Trump size adult. These new facial coverings are made from a combination of breathable nylon, cotton, and wool. They sport the same MAGA initials, but with a new and improved meaning. Make America great after. After what? Well, if that's not clear, then how the hell did you wind up here? But since you're still here, you can just assume the last A stands for again. So click your way over to Wear a Damn Mask on Your Face, you dumb jerk.com, and you can stand in a crowd of others staring at you in a mask. When you order yours, you'll get a deck of 50 advertisement cards to hand out to everyone around you to increase awareness about the need to cover your nose and mouth holes.
Joe Biden was taught that if you see injustice, you've got to stand up and act. It's why at age 26, Joe Biden became a public defender, why he ran for county council and combated housing discrimination, and why as U.S. Senator, Joe Biden led on civil rights and voting rights. In 2008, Barack Obama chose him, and for 8 years, Joe Biden served by the president's side, helped to lead us out of the last economic crisis and stop Ebola from becoming a global pandemic. But now in this crisis, Donald Trump has failed the ultimate test of leadership, especially failing communities of color who have been hit hardest by this virus. To heal this nation, it will take a president who has always stood up to injustice, someone who sees the deep problems in this country and is willing to take them head on. Joe Biden, let's build this country back better.
I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
This All About Nothing episode is paid for in part by MGM's I Read From Right to Left. Coming to a theater this time next non-pandemic time period, Tom Cruise and Steven Seagal bring you an action-packed adventure full of thrilling scenes, hard hits, long falls, and drama that already has the Academy buzzing about a potential of being mentioned in the same sentence as Oscar. Tom Cruise stars in this story of a veteran teacher hiding his dyslexia with a no-holds-barred form of teaching, hiding his own learning disability for 25 years. Steven Seagal is a friendly, loving, new principal working to earn the trust of his protective, secret-laden teacher. But when their school falls under the siege of a left-wing anarchist with a mission to take the children's education and pride, Cruise and Seagal team up to free their elementary school from the grip of these oppressors. Tom Cruise, Steven Seagal, and what can only be described as the roles of a lifetime, in that at least one of them really needed right now. I Read From Right to Left, directed by the ghost of Aaron Burr and the Jonas Brothers. I Read From Right to Left, coming this undetermined. All right, well, I tried to cue up some music. Here it goes. Man, tried to cue up some music so that there was something playing. But hey, real quick, want to make sure that everybody knows, if regardless of whatever podcast platform you're listening to us on, make sure that you subscribe, rate, and review. Also, you can follow us on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook and all that stuff. All you have to do is just head over to our website, theallaboutnothing.com, and you can find links to everything there. Real quick, also, just another real quick live ad. Everplay Sports and Social Club registration for late fall is currently upon us. And now, for the first time, Everplay Sports and Social Club has teamed up with the Lexington County Blowfish for Wednesday night beer kickball.
Awesome.
That's right. Yeah, I think this is actually pretty cool. Because they can't allow drinking at Lexington County parks, they have teamed up with the Blowfish so that we can actually have alcohol being available because there are concession stands at the Blowfish Park, but you get the opportunity to play on a major league sized ball field, and again, also you can buy beer, so there's that. Registration is open now also for Wednesday sand volleyball, Monday indoor volleyball, Tuesday bowling, and Monday cornhole. So you can click your way over to everplaysocial.com for more details on late fall registration. And add a note to your registration that you heard about it here on the All About Nothing podcast. It's not going to get you anything. It's not really going to get us anything, except that then they'll just have to deal with the fact that it was written in on the registration. So there you go. That's it.
So Barrett, name the sports again and name the website.
Yeah, kickball. All of the sports available. Let me see. That's the right one. That is not the right one. I got another one. Wednesday night sand volleyball, Monday indoor volleyball, Tuesday bowling, Monday cornhole, and then Wednesday beer kickball.
Beer
That sounds
kickball.
awesome. Zach,
Oh,
let's do it.
oh no, we can totally do it. Barrett and I have played played through softball for, I think I did it for 2 seasons. I want to come back at it as soon as, baby situations.
COVID. Yeah.
COVID and baby situation for sure. But kickball would be amazing. Haven't played kickball since, I don't know. That's cool.
My biggest concern about playing kickball on an actual major league size baseball field, it's a lot of running. I mean,
Yeah, that's 90 feet, baby.
Oh no, man! I remember PE2, man. PE2. If you ever took PE2, you know about kickball.
Yeah, but on a major league field, dude.
I mean, it's the same thing, man.
No, it's not.
There's a lot more room. There's a lot of
Man,
space.
you gotta get it, man. You gotta get it.
Dude, like I remember when I first started playing softball out there with Barrett, like I hadn't ran in a while, and like I could hit the shit out of anything someone throws to me. Like I'm not to toot my own horn, I'm pretty good at it.
You're tooting it, sir.
But when it came to base running, I'm like, dude, like my legs were like, Zach, we haven't been running this fast in a couple of years. You gotta, like Barrett was there. Remember when I started running and I was like hauling boogie, my legs were like, nah.
What are you saying? What's the term in baseball whenever you need somebody to run for you?
Oh, pinch runner?
Yeah, you need one of those. I'll be one for you. I got you.
Yeah, absolutely. There we go.
I got you, brother. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna hit.
If we talking about running some bases, I'll run some bases.
I need you to steal. I need you to tag up. I need you to do all this.
Hey, brother, I've stole before, brother. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my God.
That's where the white privilege runs out, is that you can tell that joke.
That's the black privilege.
But the white privilege in that same joke is y'all have stolen before too, but it's not as big. It's not as big.
Oh, Gabrielle was talking to me when she came in here, and she was like, "Trent can't swim," and I said, "No." I said, when Trent would come to our pool, he would doggy paddle to the sides, like even.
And the pool
shower.
wasn't even what y'all pool wasn't even deep.
The deep end went to 8 feet.
Oh yeah, I didn't go over there. I didn't go. You didn't catch me over there.
Yeah, you'd be sitting there like this, like you'd be like, and then like you would grab onto the wall like guys.
Yeah.
Like, Trent, what if I told you you could stand? It's only 3 feet deep.
He did not believe you.
Did not. Never believe you. Never believe.
That's funny.
All right, so go ahead.
Go ahead. I don't know, what were you gonna say?
Well, Shelby had something she definitely wanted to talk about, and I think is very merits talking about.
Sure.
I didn't know if you were wanting to go into that yet or not.
Yeah, please. Let's go.
Did it? Let's get it.
Shelby, you're gonna have to.
Yeah,
I haven't seen it.
You guys don't read texts, huh?
I looked. I
read it. Oh, you wanted one of us to bring it in? I thought you wanted to segue.
I didn't know if it was. Oh no, this is me segueing. I didn't want to interrupt Barrett's segue.
Are you trying to talk about my chickens? I'm just kidding.
Well, that is one thing. Shelby.
Let me ask you this question then, since we're talking about notes. Figure, what is it, competitor?
Okay.
Can you explain that?
She had to explain it to me when she told me about it.
So that's like my new goal. Well, not my new goal. I've been working towards it for about a year. That's the ultimate goal. I'll have to be a bikini competitor, but it's a physique competition.
Well, so tell Shelby, go through it. What have you been doing? You've been CrossFitting. You've been working out. You've maimed yourself. You've maimed yourself in the process of making your workout equipment.
So many times. Oh my gosh.
Shelby's been putting nose to the grindstone, getting it in, fellas.
Okay.
My carport, my fancy carport.
Shelby,
she's putting us to shame.
Would you? Oh, absolutely. She's like, Zach, you should work out, and I'm like, oh, look at you.
It's just funny because the only reason it's even so big is because if anybody that's known me at all is like, it's this typical, if I'm running, it's because someone chased me with a knife. Like, that's why. Like, never been an athlete. Like, I barrel raced and all that. But Zach,
if I'm running, you better
racing.
follow.
I do remember that.
Yeah,
I'm running.
Still got your belt buckle?
Definitely, and saddle and all that stuff. But you know, having the young ones and being stuck in a house through the pandemic, I had to find an outlet. I've been working on this before that, just weight loss and stuff in general, but just trying to find something different. But yeah, like I guess one of the biggest reasons I even wanted to bring it up as like a mom positive thing. And I know I'm with a bunch of
Absolutely.
dudes, but a bunch of dads, and
absolutely.
you have wives and babies, and so
Friends.
it's going to be huge. It's going to
Yeah.
be cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah, go ahead, Zach.
No, I was just saying the mom that is definitely, and even with Gabrielle, but like when you get pregnant, you put on weight and you feel like
Yes,
maybe this is permanent. You don't like that, and you took a step to go, no, it's not gonna be permanent. Somebody could have told you it is, and you were like, no, fuck that. Watch me.
Yes.
And you would send me a picture of your year timeline. And Jesus Christ, Shelby looks like she could be a WWE diva now compared to like doing that other crap. Like she's like ripped. Like she's like Shelby could probably beat me in arm wrestling.
Can we see one?
Probably could always beat you in arm wrestling if we want to be honest, but we'll let that go. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, bro, I still got that. I still got that.
No. Zach, legitimately the one that's training, not you. Come on.
No, when people say show me them guns, I'm like, I got 2 right here. They're registered.
Okay, let me ask a real question. So with the pandemic and everything, do you feel like it was easier for you to keep up with like your goals, like as far as like not being able to go out to restaurants that like on your cheat days and stuff like that? Or you get what I'm saying? Do you feel like the pandemic hurt you or helped you with doing this?
I think it definitely helped me because no one was stocking up on fruits and vegetables, like everyone was stocking up on everything else.
So you're growing them.
Yeah, like I do. We kind of have a homestead action going on. So I got about 50, maybe some chickens and a greenhouse and garden.
Hold on. Was that 50 chickens?
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, I seen passion for chickens, but I didn't know what passion as far as like, I thought you was like taking them to like...
No. Chicken math is real, you guys. We literally started out with like 12, okay?
Shelby has a sticker on her car that says crazy chicken lady.
I did.
And,
but anyway.
We went over there for the last birthday and I was like, Shelby, the chickens are over here. She's like, they're free range, you idiot. Like, all right.
It's true.
They're ranging up on me. I think one's looking at me.
Yeah.
We gotta do this, chicken.
Oh, Ronnie, our favorite rooster.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So hold on. So every chicken has a name.
Most of them, definitely.
Oh my God. Can you really pick them out from different, like from 50 chickens? You can pick out.
Yeah. Because it doesn't really seem like 50.
Totally can.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So they have these they have these chickens, and Shelby, you can fill in on the scientific details of it, but they have these black chickens that have black feet, black beaks, black gizzards, all
That's
that.
That's Ronnie, yeah.
Their insides are black too. Their livers are hard.
What?
It's AAN Samani. Yeah.
If you was to eat,
so is that like a special breed of chicken?
Yes.
Oh.
Our boss talked to me and he's like, you ever heard, like talking about there's these chickens that are blah blah blah. They're black on the inside and out and blah blah blah. And I was like, oh, my sister has 2 of them. He was like, what? I was like, yeah.
So is that
like,
meat? Is that meat from the chicken? Like, if you grow that chicken, like, how much could each like chicken like run you? Like, is that like a special price or is it like rare?
So, I mean, I could get super into it, but there's like meat birds, and then there's just like laying birds, and then there's like dual purpose. But so what he's talking about, you would not want to eat. If there's no meat, it would not be worth it. But it would be black all throughout.
Like,
which
imagine biting into a fried chicken leg. And
that's crazy.
Black. Yeah.
Like, tripping, dude.
It'd probably be really weird.
So you saying that chicken isn't even good for you? You saying that's not good for you?
No, it'd be fine. Like, it's just not enough meat on it to make it worth like culling him. Yeah, it would not.
He got those skinny legs, man.
He's just like for looks. He's cool though.
He's cool though. He's very cool.
Yeah. Oh, Ronnie.
Well, that's really cool. That now, how long have you had these chickens? Like, was this a thing that just started this year, or? No,
we've had them for like a year and a half. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's still not that long.
No.
That's not too terribly
chicken
long.
math is serious. Like, my husband has sworn me off from getting any more chickens. I was like, fine.
So how much space do you need to have a chicken? Like, each chicken needs how much space?
Bro, they're free range.
Like, I know horses need room. So I'm trying to understand, like, how much room do you need for?
Oh God. You don't. I mean, they roost in
Okay.
trees and stuff. Like, I mean, we have 5 acres and some change, so they have plenty of room. They just like
Okay.
literally have a little migratory pattern around the house, and they just chill.
That's
So,
crazy.
And
That's
where
awesome.
where do you live?
in Little Mountain.
Little Mountain. Okay.
It's,
So
yeah.
I assume that there's because it's not a municipality. I mean, you don't live like in the city limits or town limits of.
Look, man, my
There's-
grandma lives in Little Mountain. It is no,
You
you
hear all-
would pass by the city limit so fast, Barrett. You'd be like, "What city? Where you're
Oh,
in?"
I've been there.
Yeah.
Oh, I've been there.
Yeah,
I had
it's
friends
quick.
who went to Mid Carolina. I mean,
Yeah,
I know Little Mountain well enough to know that it's not a mountain, but I know it well enough.
It is a mountain,
There
Barrett.
is a mountain. There
It is
is
a
a
mountain. Hey, look, my family reunion.
You can't look at it and call it a hill.
There is a hill.
Look,
There is
the
a
No.
hill.
corniest thing, look, the corniest thing ever. My family. Look, I gotta give it up to my family for the corniest thing ever. We had our family reunion in Little Mountain, South Carolina, and we actually went on the mountain and grabbed rocks and put rocks in like these plastic bags and like wrapped them up and gave it to my family from up north. Like, hey, you got a part of Little Mountain. Just
That's not corny, dude.
it is kind of corny, man, whenever I think about it, because like Bear's like, it's not actually a mountain. He's got a
Bro,
point,
It
but
is.
it is a mountain.
You drive up when you get like, because I don't think there's a road to like take.
Yes, it
to the
is.
top.
It's right beside my road.
Oh, is it? Because when you
Yeah.
even when you drive like up around the side of it, there's like certain roads you can take.
Yeah,
If your ears start popping, it ain't a hill no more.
you're right.
All right,
You're right.
and you look
That's how
at it
we're
in the distance,
classifying
and you're like, there it is. That's
That's a Chapin education right there.
Yeah,
There it is.
God.
I almost
All right.
went to Mid Carolina. Thank God. Thank
Yeah,
God.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. Because
That's funny.
like I
That's
said,
funny.
I know people from Little Mountain.
Yes.
I know people
yes.
that went to Mid Carolina.
Yes.
I don't know them very well anymore, but I know them. I know of them now.
Little
And we're
Mountain
not
has-
talking about nobody from Little Mountain because a lot of my people from Little Mountain. So I
Currently
love
live
y'all,
here.
but y'all do have a stereotype. You do have
It
a
is.
stereotype.
Little
It
Mountain
is
has
the
that
gem of,
antique. Little Mountain has
it is
that
the
antique
gem of-
shop that also is a cafe.
The
Yes, it's
Podunk
true.
Holler with the Possum Coffee Shack.
Well,
Yes.
where you go down, where you drive around the back, we ate there, and I'm like, there's like a fucking GTO, there's like 3 classic cars sitting down there
Look, you don't understand.
while you're waiting.
You don't
Look,
understand how valuable the Little Mountain reunion was back in the day. Like
Oh,
I
for sure.
know.
that was like a big thing. Like
Oh, yeah.
it was like one of the biggest things. Like as a child that you would wait for. It was bigger than a fair to me. As far
Oh,
as
I knew people that went.
going
I
to.
knew people that went every year, every single year.
We drove
You
through
guys
and
were-
I was like, oh my god.
It's probably and the funniest thing about it is now that I say that, it's probably one of the biggest Dixie festivals ever. If I want to be 100, if we want to be 100% real, like the things that you see in the Little Mountain
You're talking about the
Parade.
reenactment cap.
Oh,
The reenactment camp
we're
Come
talking
on,
about the
man.
tractors. We're talking about the flags we was
The
flying.
side by
like,
sides, the 4x4.
They have they have the hillbilly cars. Like you know how like back in the day, what
Like-
was that show? The Beverly Hillbillies.
Yeah.
Sure.
They had like the reenactment of those cars
Yeah.
in that parade. You get what I'm
Oh,
saying? So
God,
it was
Trent.
so funny. And this is the funniest thing about it. My church would have a spot in that parade. So imagine a all black church marching behind a Beverly Hillbilly reenactment. Like you can't make this up.
I just want to point out, I don't think the I think the Beverly Hillbillies were probably pretty liberal in their stance on
I mean, a little bit more. You
They
know,
lived in California.
yeah, they did live in California. You know, they didn't really
they
live.
didn't move to a blue state.
Let's get out of here with all these racists. Let's go to California. Shit, get in the truck.
And they were
Yeah, but
millionaires,
who's-
right? They were millionaires. That's the reason why they moved to California,
Yeah,
correct?
who accidentally, who accidentally shoots at the ground and oil comes up? I mean, you know, you had to know. You had to know exactly where to aim.
Again, grew up in Chapin,
Oh.
Little Mountain, Newberry area. Shot at the ground multiple times. Never had oil come up.
No.
Never had oil. That's a shame. That's a
Crazy
shame.
thing
And you
is,
were trying
Bill-
so hard.
Bill Cosby's home had oil from under it. If you would have shot it under, that's what they said.
Is there a
What?
Is there a joke? Is there a
No,
punchline
no,
to
no,
that?
no. It's no punchline. Like
No,
Bill
I'm
Cosby's
literally-
house. Bill Cosby's
I know.
house Bill Cosby's house has
Zing.
oil under it. His mansion.
okay.
So like the people really want to drill under his house, and that was like one of the things that they were trying to say, quote unquote, like they was trying to get him out of the house so they can drill there. That's just a conspiracy theories, but you know how I am.
Came out. Do you think somebody came out and was like, somebody had to come out and be like,
anyone.
No, Bill Cosby won't let him drill at his house. That's the thing about it.
He came out and he's like, Mr. Cosby, we seem to think there's a surplus of crude oil below your backyard. Could we drill a little? And he's like, sure, go ahead. And it like shoots up and he goes, I always thought that was just the pudding. You're not taking my pudding and you're not breaking no money off of it. I swear to God. Come inside and drink this drink. Give it to you real quick.
You're laid down.
God. Oh, you guys are terrible.
Look like you're a little sleepy once you get the Cosby sweater and put it down near your lip chili.
Zach, you are crazy.
Call me Mr. Huxtable.
Mr.
Oh my God.
Dr. Huxtable.
The doctor.
Okay.
So weird.
He was Dr. Dre was more of a doctor than Bill Cosby.
Yeah, at least he doctors beats. This dude's just like, I crushed him up and put him in the drink, and now you fall asleep. Dooper dooper doop. Bad news for you. Yeah.
Please segue us into something.
I assume you all are getting all your mailers, right? We're collecting these. Sincerely.
I'm glad I haven't gotten a Trump one. So
I don't think he knows my address, I think
no. I'm going to tell you exactly what it is.
He might be skipping it on purpose.
He is not actually doing any physical mailings here in South Carolina. Most of South Carolina. He may do it in places like Charleston.
Because he knows he got us already.
Yeah. No, South Carolina is not a swing state for him. There's very little possibility that South Carolina will go for Joe Biden. That's not to say it's not possible.
We're shooing.
Yeah, by that
logic, we should be getting Lindsey Graham ones, right?
This is a Lindsey Graham one. This is a Lindsey Graham one claiming that
is that
Jamie
Oprah
Harris,
pointing at him? On the other side?
Oh no, no, that's Hillary.
That's Nancy.
Oh my God, Pelosi looked like Oprah in that when I first glanced at it.
See, I thought this was positive because she was clapping for Jamie. And
I thought it was
like,
too.
I'm happy.
It really messed me up.
No, for some Republicans, when they see Nancy Pelosi like this right here, I got to make sure I'm pointing right here.
Yes,
there. When they see Nancy Pelosi, that scares them. That honestly, I have found that there are people that will react as though they are frightened of Nancy Pelosi because they believe that she is just evil incarnate. That the House of Representatives is being run by a devil woman that is going to make them all gay or whatever. No, this is actually Jamie Harrison's ad. There's almost actually nothing on here that mentions Jamie Harrison whatsoever.
Just concerned faces.
That lady annoys me though when her advertisement pops up and she's like, I always voted for Lindsey Graham.
I always voted for Lindsey Graham.
I'm like, bitch, I'm trying to watch a video.
Never again. I'm like, where's my Jay-Z? I'm trying to listen to Jay-Z. I gotta listen to you talk about Lindsey Graham. I don't want to hear that.
This is Melissa and Jim. Hi, Jim.
Hey, Jim. Jim's got a butt chin too. Jim's got a butt chin.
Look, I'm
gonna always want to get somebody with a butt chin. You know what I'm saying?
This is probably the most important mailing. So, and let me just say that last week, South Carolina, the governor of South Carolina, Foghorn Leghorn, signed into law. I'm not sure if it's an executive order or how it worked out, but South Carolina, there are no restrictions on voting absentee. You are free. You are free to request your absentee ballot, regardless of whatever reason. COVID-19 is not on there, but you can in South Carolina now request your absentee ballot without any fear that you are doing something wrong. That whatever.
Because I went to sign up for it. I'm glad you told me that because I went to sign up for absentee balloting, and they wanted a reason as to why I had to do it. And I was
Choose whatever reason you want.
I
If you
did. I
choose the
chose
first-
hospital. I said because if they
No.
called and asked me why, I having a baby. That's why. Not
So-
gonna make it.
But the most important thing is when you get your absentee ballot in the mail after you've registered for it and requested it. Once you get it, as quickly as possible, fill it out and mail it in, because ultimately there is going to be a definite issue with them being returned. I was talking to my mailman just yesterday. He pulled up and I asked him how he was doing. He said, good. I said, how are things with the post office? Because you hear on the news, he said, yeah, it's mostly political. He said, by the time it filters down to us, it's not really a big issue. I mean, we just, they give us the mail that we're supposed to deliver. I said, is there a backlog like what they're describing? He said, here in South Carolina, there really isn't.
No.
In bigger cities, it's what they're hearing is that it is a big issue, that there are rooms
Sure.
filled with mail that is just not going out, because they will get, basically the idea is that the trucks have to leave at whatever time, regardless of how much mail is loaded onto them. And when the trucks come back, they're not being loaded back up with mail. So basically the mail is becoming backlogged. They're only making one trip. It used to be that your mailman would deliver the mail, empty the truck, would go back, refill it, and then go out and deliver the truck again, because they were getting overtime for this sort of stuff. I mean, they deliver till 7 or 8 o'clock at night sometimes.
So they don't get overtime no more. That's what you're saying.
There is no overtime. There is no overtime. I even asked him how he was, if he was doing all right, financially with this, if he counted on the overtime, and he said there's just no overtime available. So,
Well,
the
can I add this into the absentee voting?
Sure.
Go to www.youhavetofuckingvote.com and it'll bring you to vote.org, and you can also go to vote.org, but I think the first is more hilarious. But that you can type in your information and it will tell you if you're registered to vote and where you have to go to vote. I've done it.
Yeah.
It's excellent. So you have to fucking vote.com is whether you're voting for Trump, Biden, Lindsey Graham, whoever you're voting for, that is your voice needs to be heard. You need to go do it. You have to fucking vote. Go.
Yeah. So I guess before we took a break, but it happened it happened the weekend before we was the weekend after we took a break. We haven't discussed the fact that Trump came out and called soldiers losers, and allegedly
you touched on the short, but yes, no, we did not.
Okay.
Do we have full context of that?
Do we have full context? I don't think we'll ever get full context of it. All I can say for sure is that two of the individuals that were there and could potentially come out and say are his chief of staff at the time, which was Jim Kelly, military, as well as General Mattis, who was Secretary of Defense. No, what was he? I think he was Defense. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He was. Okay. So you have Mattis and then Secretary. I mean, I'm mucking all this up. But anyway, you had two individuals there that ultimately could come right out and with absolute certainty say, no, we didn't hear him say this, or they'll just remain silent because they're not going to actually come out and say that the president said something as atrocious as calling the soldiers who have died in service losers and suckers.
Well, the thing that bothers me the most about it was he was in France, and the graveyard that he was at was for Marines and service members, but especially Marines that fought in Belleau Woods.
Right.
And Belleau Woods in France was during World War I, where these Marines who had never actually been put into combat to the degree that they were relied on for this fight that went on for a long time. This is where the Marines got the name Devil Dogs. They were called Devil Dogs because these battalions that were going without food, these men that were sitting there fighting, watching their friends die beside them for months at a time, and the command would come down and say, push forward, get more. They would wear gas masks. This is where the name Devil Dog came from. So this is what pisses me off, if he truly said it, it's just the worst. They would wear gas masks because the Germans would use mustard gas at the time. They'd put the gas masks on, big long things, but inside of it you would get red in the face and your eyes would be bloodshot, and all you're going to see is these two big holes with these bloodshot eyes staring at you. They would also foam from the mouth from having to wear the mask. So all the Germans saw is these guys charging their mounds, clawing on all fours, and they called them the there's a German name for it, and it's very long, but it's like Buchenhausen something. It translated, the Germans were so terrified they called them devil dogs because they look like dogs from hell climbing up these hills to come kill them, to push the German army back. And they were relied on for months. And I think the thing went on, it could have, I think it might have even been a couple of years, that these malnourished men never quit, kept fighting, kept doing this thing, to the point where they're bloodshot and frothing at the mouth, wearing gas masks, crawling on all fours with their rifles in their hands to take for in a whole nother country. And if he said suckers and losers about these men who gave it their all, that's not a president. That's not somebody who gives a shit about anything.
And the context of it, we do know that he did cancel his visit to the Ansmarne cemetery. We do know that he canceled his visit because right afterwards we heard that that there was concern over his hair being disheveled. I assume that what we see on a daily basis is shoveled, I guess, since it's not shoveled. But
nicely brushed.
Yeah.
I'm afraid of rain and wind. I don't want to do that. Oh, these guys had to give their lives.
Yeah.
Not even thinking about their fucking hair.
I feel like there's no reason for me to doubt that he would cancel something like that because he was going to have to stand in the rain. I absolutely believe that is potential. Did he say what is being said? He said, then I feel like it's rhetoric that we've heard out of him before. So I don't know why I would assume that it's not true.
He called it fake in an interview.
I'll tell you this right now. I've been to DC twice in my life. One time on a bus, so I don't count that one. My mother and I went when I donated.
Still there. You have to count.
Just for the record, Zach is not a bus rider at all.
Clearly,
never.
Zach been driving his Dodge Charger since he's been in the 5th grade. Never rode the bus.
Lies.
Bro, I'm a Ford guy through and through. I had to get a V8.
It was a Ford bus.
Anyway.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, this bus was a Ford. That's where me and Justin are on the same page.
Oh god.
No, my mom and I, we had never seen it, and it was pouring rain, and it lightened up a little bit, but it was still raining, and we weren't not gonna go stand at Arlington Cemetery in Virginia. You have to do it. Why wouldn't you do that? You got wet. I would have 10 times more respect for Trump if he was out there standing in the rain just to at least go there and say, like, take it in. Don't even say anything. Take it in.
The hair would literally melt off his head.
I don't care.
He can't afford to do that. You don't understand. You have to understand. He didn't want to wear the mask because he didn't want the media to get a picture of him wearing the mask.
That speaks volumes.
So you know he's not going to get wet because the media is going to be talking about his hair, and he knows that. He's like, yo, I cannot let them get a picture of my hair wet.
How many of y'all, Shelby, and I know you haven't been, but you want to go, and we're going to definitely make that happen. But I mean, have you guys been to Arlington? Have you guys been to national cemeteries where your dead are fallen? And it goes on as far as the eye can see.
I've been to Washington.
Oh yeah.
It's the only time that you can truly, the weight of the price that these men paid, you can feel it. It's on you. The weight is real. And I don't, you canceled, and I get it's politics, right? No one's ever going to be happy. But it's one of those moments that it becomes real. It's palatable. You go, every single one of these white stones that eventually become specks on the horizon is somebody who died to serve their country.
See, and I'll say this. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No,
I'm sorry.
I don't have it.
I was
You
just
go.
gonna say, what I'll say is that while I recognize the weight of one of our leaders, whether it's someone in the Senate or a duly elected official, them going and making an attempt to show, I guess, to memorialize the moment in time is great. And I feel like it's a sign that's necessary when it comes to situations like Memorial Day or Armistice Day, or days where we're literally recognizing 4th of July, these sort of things, where we're literally recognizing. Yeah, we are seeing the leaders of this country recognize that the reason that we're even still a country is because of the people that have fallen, that have given their lives, that have given the ultimate sacrifice to put us in a position to still be here. But like 9/11 we just had, and the only photo that I saw from 9/11 was Vice President Pence or the only one that stood out to me was Vice President Pence and Vice President Joe Biden tapping elbows, greeting each other. Two guys that have worked they've worked in Congress at the same time, so they know each other, and there doesn't, when I see photos like that of the two of them at a 9/11 ceremony or 9/11 recognition, it gives me hope that there's a potential. But then I did not see anything with Trump. I didn't see any. I know the flags got lowered. I didn't see him. Did he go to the Pentagon? Maybe
he kind of stayed away from. He's
like, I'm gonna fade in the background on this one.
He did fade. He was like,
into the green.
All the people was like, "Look, Trump, you've been pissing people off lately. So with 9/11, you really can't even take a chance at even saying anything, because you could really twist the boat up if you say anything." So I think somebody was just like, "Yo, let's just let this day go by." And
what a day!
I know,
but
you got to understand, it's the 19th year. It's not the 20th. So if he's still in the chair next year, mark my words, it will be a more of a ceremonial, and he'll probably have like a about it, because it's. I think
you're right. I think you're right.
I'll tell you,
running for re-election at that point.
What really got me is they kind of, I read an article about the falling man, the picture of the man who he's falling, and he has like one knee bent, but he's kind of Supermaning straight down. That he's accepted his fate, and the photographer was there for a wedding in Central Park for pregnant women, which was funny. They're all pregnant getting married, but 9/11 happened, and so he whipped the camera out, and the man is falling, and he's accepting his fate, like arms down, knee bent, like, I'd rather die free. I made this choice. I jumped and made this choice. I didn't let radical terrorists take it from me. And I never realized it till they pointed it out, but he's perfectly juxtaposed where his body splits the North and South Tower, and he's falling perfectly between the two. And that's something that when it's brought to the forefront, that's why you need your troops. That's why 9/11 has to be remembered, because you need the men and women who are going out there to sacrifice their life to stop that ever happening again. And I remember I was reading that article, and it had a bunch of probably the longest article I ever read in my life. But they had pictures in between it, especially of him, where they actually identified who he was. He was a cook up on the 89th floor or whatever it was, one of the highest up. And the fact that whether he jumped or not, or he definitely jumped, he didn't fall out, but he accepted it, and it was on his own terms that he took control of that. I thought it was the most amazing way to put it.
And see, that scares me, because you get what I'm saying, like being taught different things, as far as like, I think we're going to touch up on it a little bit later about how you grow up. I think Shelbie wanted to talk about that. But as far as like what you're taught, like, okay, church wise, I was always taught suicide.
A one-way ticket.
It's a one-way ticket, but it's like people always say, like, okay, in my church, they will say if you do suicide, you technically go to hell. If I'm trying to say it light because this is what I was taught when I was younger. So they saying if you
that's
kill
what
yourself,
Christianity says.
yeah, that's what Christianity lets you know. So I'm thinking in that moment when that guy is like, I'm gonna jump out of this building, I don't think it's suicide anymore.
He's gonna die.
Like you're saying, he knows he has no chance at living. So at that point, like you're saying, I'm taking what I know and just living free. I know my fate. I'm accepting it, and
it's on my terms.
It's on my terms.
Well, and imagine being in that situation, not knowing what's going on, essentially, but having the capacity to be able to make that decision, to make that call.
Well, I know
That's
that they had to be
crazy.
like hanging out of windows, some that were broken open, some that they broke open, and going like, I'm fucking gonna choke to death in here, or I could go on my own terms and go straight down.
And like exactly like you're saying is that like okay, I seen another video. And it was on Facebook, and it was when one of the towers had went down. It's like when the first tower first went down, and they like panned over to this firefighter, and all you seen was him taking his hat off and slamming it on the ground, because you knew he knew how many people was in that building. About how many of his men was in that building whenever it went down. So you could just see the pain in him. He's like, I know I should have been in there. You get what I'm saying? Like,
He would give anything to save at least one more.
Yeah, like
anything. Yeah,
it's just crazy. Like 9/11, like hero wise, like I really think that was the one time where our country didn't see racism for a little bit.
Oh yeah.
To be honest, I think that was the one time where the United States of America was able to look at everybody like, "Hey, you're an American citizen. You're my brother.
You matter."
But I think that kind of like faded a little bit when everything got right back to normal. Whenever everything kind of like, you know what I'm saying, got back
it was
to
in the
normal.
rear view after a couple of years.
But when it happened, I know everybody everybody felt different around that time.
It was United We Stand, like it legit was, yeah.
The only flag people were flying was the American flag, and proudly, and standing up and say, you know what shit we don't take, that kind of shit.
Exactly.
And there's no reason America can't be like that. There's no reason. So let's cut. Everybody has the right to believe what they want to believe. Everybody has the right to pursue their happiness, to have the Constitution apply to them. Yes. Let's be Americans. There's no reason we can't unite, just as we did during 9/11. Exactly. Just as we did when Pearl Harbor was attacked, and we decided, you know what, Nazis got to go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Japan's got to go. Like that. It was time. It shouldn't have to always take a catastrophic disaster.
But you know what? Somebody was saying. Somebody said this online. They was like, I was a little tired at one point in time of seeing like videos like the George Floyd or anything, and he was like, I don't understand why people need to see it. But he said, I kind of understand it now, because without people actually seeing it and actually feeling like, you know, those goosebumps when you see that horrific video online, and you're like, and you can feel it in your bones, like, I can't believe that's happening. Like, that gives people a realistic feeling about what's actually happening.
It makes it real.
Yes, it's actually, people have to see it. It's how bad it is. I know how bad it is to actually see something like that, but you have to see it. Like when that guy
is a parent.
And then you sit back and go, because when you watch a video like that, any video you watch, you subconsciously or consciously will go, what would I do?
Yes.
What if I was the cop? What if I was George? Until you watch it, you don't want to watch it because you know the outcome, right? Make it real.
Yeah.
Shock yourself.
Yeah.
That's when it shakes you. That's when your worldview will start to change. Once you apply it and you go, hold, none of that was okay. I don't want that on anybody.
Exactly.
Like, holy shit. Okay, so what could that guy have done to deserve that?
Exactly. That's all you're thinking. That's all you're thinking. Like, it's nothing. It's nothing like in the imagination that will let me know why it's okay for you to put your knee on my neck for that long.
Yeah.
It's nothing that I can think of.
And I had that whole conversation with my mom too recently. I was like, you sit back and look at it and you go, okay, he maybe he did deal drugs at one time, but did he deserve to die for that?
No.
Well, Eric Garner was selling
single cigarettes.
And the officer, there were how many officers there? Why did it? And I'm not saying that he did. It's not even like, if you watch the video of Eric Garner from the footage, it's almost as if look, I get it. Police officers, sometimes they're going to have bad days too. But the issue that with that situation is there were so many of them, and I get it. Eric Garner was a big guy, but there were so many of them trying to pull him down, and it didn't feel like a situation where he was fighting all four of them or all five of them or however many of them. And then with Floyd, you got George Floyd on the ground literally saying, I can't breathe. He's not in any sort of position to fight back. And at the point where
handcuffs.
Yeah, he's basically already grasping for life, and the knee to his neck is basically just choking the life out of him. And I'd like to think that if I was in a situation where I saw this happening, that I would stand up or I would try and, but you got three other officers there that someone should have been the conscience.
Make a judgment call. Yeah.
Yes.
You would think,
but the guy with the knee on his neck was the senior officer.
Right.
So when you have the blind leading the blind, you can't do anything. Like if it was one guy, it was his first day there.
Yeah, it was his first day.
Bro, that's your training officer.
Yeah, the guy doing the kneeling was
that's ridiculous. Like you can't make none of this up, Barrett. Like this is ridiculous.
And the thing is, it's like, of course, you resorted to like horrible blood cutting from your brain, suffocating you, all of it, oxygen. At that point, you might as well give him a bottle of ether and be like, I'm going to tackle him and put this on his face. That would come out way more better than putting your knee on somebody's neck. Or even
I've watched a whole lot of movies or TV shows where there is almost always someone. I'm watching The Sopranos now. There's almost always a point where fantastic. There's a point where Tony is on top of Ralph. It's like season 4. So Ralph, he and Ralph are getting in this fight, and he's basically choking the life out of him. But I feel like the only reason that someone in the position of being the choker, that the only reason they know that they're still is because they're continuing to fight. Like if that was a situation where I was being choked out, wouldn't it make sense for me just to stop fighting and maybe just play possum? I don't know.
No,
okay.
I think
I'm not saying that George Floyd should have played possum.
No. We understand. I understand what you're saying. I understand.
Yeah. Well, fight or flight comes. That's all.
I think you're right.
That's very much a involuntary action, right? If you're scared, there's two things you're going to do. You're going to keep fighting or you're going to run.
Or that's like if you see a bear in the wilderness. Like the thing is to not run away from the bear, but play dead, right? That's what
make yourself big.
No.
Yeah.
Make yourself big?
Yeah.
See?
You know what I'm not going to do? Have a yelling.
You see why I don't kayak?
You know what I'm not going to do?
You're going to eat my bear.
Yeah. I'm not going to lay there and be like, oh.
Yeah, Trent is going to be dead.
I don't do camping. I don't do kayaking. Hey, look, man.
It's going to be like Without a Paddle, where he just picks them up and takes them away.
In his mouth.
Yeah. Oh, my God. He can't swim in the river to get away.
He thinks you
can't swim in the river. Yeah, we're dead. I'm dead either way, man. Right. I just accepted my fate.
Oh God!
So, don't go camping with Trent. He's not reliable.
No, don't take no advice. No advice.
He's terrific bait. That's what I
will. I will say
every 10 minutes I go, where's Trent? Where's Trent? Is Trent still here?
So
Trent catches up an hour later. I saw a bear. I laid down. It actually worked. We're like, well, Trent let us know.
So
Shut
to
up, man.
transi-
I got you, Barrett. Let's transition to some e-learning.
Yeah, there you go. We're gonna transition over to Ruth Bader Ginsburg, Associate Justice for the Supreme Court. Of course, she passed away on Friday. 87 years old, had been on the court since the 90s when she was nominated by Bill Clinton. And when she was nominated and went through her Senate approval, she was one of the last Supreme Court justices to actually be approved by a sweeping majority. I want to say I think she was like 97-3, like number of senators that voted in favor of her nomination and appointment. So
the opposite of LeBron being voted for MVP.
Oh my gosh.
Well, we didn't have to have a whole court hearing about if Dougie Doug and the other ones boofed somebody when she was elected as a Supreme Court nominee.
There wasn't as much politics behind it then. It wasn't as big of and a lot of so we'll get into it. I feel like a lot of the reason that with Gorsuch and with Brett Kavanaugh, with them being put in, had a lot more to do with the fact that Mitch McConnell in 2016, so we're going back 2016, we lost Antonin Scalia, and when he passed away, it opened up again a Supreme Court seat, a justice seat for President Obama.
And I'm sorry, but Anthony Scalia was a dick too.
Well, he was a very firm constitutional jurist on the Supreme Court. Absolutely, it was the letter of the law, and he interpreted it in a way that was definitely more conservative than.
And all his bills were basically like they sounded like filibusters. They were so long and drawn out.
It was, yeah. I mean, but I'm not going to take it away from him. I thought as far as jurists go for the Supreme Court, I think that I had a conversation earlier. I'm not going to say that Neil Gorsuch is a bad Supreme Court justice. I'm not going to say that Brett Kavanaugh is a bad Supreme Court justice. I feel like what I'll say is that with the fact that Mitch McConnell held on to that seat until Trump was elected, he didn't know Trump was going to elect it. In fact, he was almost certain that Trump wasn't going to get elected. But because he held on to that seat he basically laid it out there for the American citizens to decide who gets to pick that seat. That was not within his right to do. President Obama presented Merrick Garland as the jurist to be appointed to the Supreme Court. It should have gone through the Senate just like everyone before it, but Mitch McConnell held it up politically
for like a year.
For 10 months, yeah. And ultimately, the idea was that Mitch McConnell stated was that there should not be a Supreme Court justice placed or voted upon by the Senate during an election year. These were his words. Lindsey Graham also seconded it. They all went along with it. Fast forward to 2020, where we have a seat open after the passing of Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and now we have a situation where people are upset that Mitch McConnell has basically gone back on what he said. Which, if anyone has ever followed Mitch McConnell, they know that that's what he does. There's no consistency. The only thing that's consistent about Mitch McConnell is the fact that he is inconsistent. He is going to.
What a bastard! I just had to get that out.
And this is probably going to piss you guys off because it's probably not the same opinion you have, but I fully believe that it is within Trump's right to nominate someone and the Senate vote on a Supreme Court justice. And I know that there's a potential that's going to push it. It's going to push it that direction, but it's as constitutionally aware as I am, I fully believe that that is the proper way to handle this. And
it absolutely is.
I mean,
it's just a double standard.
But what I'm saying is it how quick? Like the ladies, no offense, the lady hasn't been dead for more than a week, correct?
It's extremely
It doesn't
offensive
matter.
for how quick Mitch McConnell even came out with
But
it.
I'm saying, like, how quick do they do this? Like,
It's not
like
very.
if
It's
I
not
was
the,
to, like, if I was to die, how quick would my? I'm kind of think how quick my job would replace me. I feel like I'm pretty valuable to my job. You get what I'm saying? I wouldn't want them to like take a break before they hire somebody new.
I'm not even cold.
Yeah, like come on, like y'all not giving this lady no respect. Y'all like, yo, okay, she's gone. Let's put somebody in there right now. Like,
and
they're not playing no games.
And that is, I find that to be extremely offensive, but it still falls well within the rights of the president to do. He did come out today and said that he was almost certainly going to be picking a woman, which goes completely against what he was literally saying Friday night when the news was breaking that Ruth Bader Ginsburg had passed. Literally within seconds of her passing or the news breaking, he was at a rally talking about how he was going to nominate Ted Cruz to be a Supreme Court justice.
I literally was about to say, here's how good his list is.
Like
Ted Cruz on it.
Yeah.
Here's how good his list is. Ted Cruz on it.
I thought it was gonna be Candace Owens gonna be on this top of the list to be.
I'm sorry, there's prerequisites even for
I don't think there are. I think you're right. You should go through. You should go through and look at some of the federal court judges that have been named or have been appointed under President Trump. You should go and look at just some of them. There are some of them that granted they were lawyers, but never once did they even step into a courtroom. Like we're talking about like ambulance chasers that have never been in a courtroom, have only ever settled cases, but they have been named to be district appointment for life judges because they were donors to Trump's campaign. Like literally, we have people on the courts that were donors. We have Louis DeJoy, who is at one time the head of XPO. Like one of our clients was the head of XPO. And is now the U.S. Postmaster General for the United States Postal Service, and has no qualifications to be the
Trump
head of the service.
XPO
delivers refrigerators, right?
Yeah.
Or I'm not.
Well, since Trump has gotten into office, he's been putting his chess pieces on a board, but just doesn't know how they go.
Oh, maybe he does.
No, he doesn't.
But you gotta think. The places that he has people in charge of stuff are like kind of like very important. If you understand,
like the EPA.
I'm just saying, like the key pieces he needs to keep the company. I mean, or to keep I'm saying United States as a company because technically we are, but
we're not.
We're not. We're. You can say we're run like a company. It's definitely a triangle effect in the United States if we want to be. So
yeah. No, I was just going to say, the United States operates on a budget. That budget is based on the amount of money that comes in with taxes. We are not a for-profit country. The idea of the United States, financially, we're not supposed to. We aren't supposed to have these services like the Postal Service or the Department of Defense. They're not money-making opportunities for the country. What we wind up having in this situation is Trump talks about all of the military, planes and tanks and things that like Saudi Arabia is purchasing from us. And he talks about like the United States is making money off of this. We're not. In fact, we're losing money when we sell a $30 billion plane to the Saudis for $3 billion. We're literally giving them $27 billion worth of technology without, we've reduced the price tag to $3 billion and we're doing it on virtually everything. But it's all in this idea that like we're protecting the Saudis, they're paying us to do it. And that doesn't make any sense. We've never been a country that literally went around was for hire. Like our military service is supposed to be protecting freedom and fighting for democracy, and which those are weird ideals, but it's what we've always said we do. But like we're putting up a border against one of literally our partners in the world, Mexico, and we're acting as though
I still don't understand that. I still don't understand that. Like, why
we're acting like they're second class citizens to the world, and we're trying to erect a border to keep ourselves separated from them because I don't know. I don't know. Like the ideas that get tossed out there don't make any sense to me. Like when he came down his escalator and he said that there are rapists and murderers and drug dealers and all this other stuff. Yeah, I've not been to Amsterdam, but I assume that there's a lot of drug dealers over there too. There's healthcare involved.
Speaking of, let's get back. I wanted to get back into a couple things too that Shelbie had brought up because I think they're fantastic. And Shelbie, I want you to kind of take the floor on what you mean by it, especially when it comes by when you were talking about being a product of how you're raised and how that basically affects your thinking, right? It builds you. You can be indoctrinated. You're always, everyone to some degree is going to be indoctrinated on something. My dad was a Ford guy. I tend to like Ford stuff. My mom thinks this is the right thing, so I try to do that. How do you see that come into fruition within your life? Is there, for me, I know that there's barriers that I feel like eventually I hit to a head where I'm like, you know what? I don't have to think that way just because one parent or the other, or even grandparents, aunts, uncles, anyone thought that way. And you kind of, for me, I found that freedom. So what you were wanting to talk about it. So what do you have on that?
I mean, I guess personally, the whole concept just intrigues me really. Like I love hearing other people's point of view. But for me, I would say that your culture, in my opinion, definitely defines you, obviously, in multiple different ways. It's the difference in, like, if you take Trump into consideration, like, he wouldn't be who he is. Our country wouldn't be what it is at this state. I mean, if he didn't grow up the way he did, like, he can slam soldiers, but he's also crapping on a gold toilet. You know what I mean? Like, and that's his culture. Like, that's what he has surrounded himself in. And for me personally, it's like, yeah, Zach, we were raised by the same parents. One of the biggest differences was that I'm a girl. And that's always been very prevalent in how I was raised, apart from you.
Have we checked Zach, though, to make sure?
I know. Right. Seriously.
I planted
the hair,
sir.
The hair, we're really confused about the hair, so we don't know just yet, Zach.
Oh God, I know. But I don't know.
I mean, as far as growing up wise, do you feel like it's anything? I don't know how to say this, because my mom and your mom were probably about the same age, so it's things your mom has probably taught you, and it's things my mom has taught you. Like, what's probably the best advice that your mom gave you that you didn't take, if that makes sense? Like, it was something she told you, but you didn't take the advice. So what is that thing? But years later, you're like, damn, I should have listened to my mom.
I know. I don't know. Now I'm on the spot.
That's a
don't date that boy. I'm just kidding.
You know what? I'd like to say, I think, and I know my mom is probably listening, not live, but she's probably listening tomorrow or something. But I'd like to think that my sister and I used to fight, and one day I'll have my sister on because she's interesting. But my sister and I used to fight, and I'd like to think that my sister, the thing that my mother probably told my sister was, quit fighting with him. He's going to be bigger than you one day. I feel like that had to be something like that had to be one of those things that she told him that she never listened to, because we fought.
That happened to Shelbie and I. We would pick on Hunter, and he grew. Like, oh, what do you mean you're 6'3" and you play O-line? Oh, that's fun.
Hunter's like, it's all fun and games, and one night he woke up huge. And then
like Hunter's literally like, Hunter was like 6'3", 260 pounds, and not fat, just muscle. Like, he's ripping through it. Yep. Yeah. There's a picture that we have where we're all holding puppies, and this is like peak Hunter O-line thing, and he's busting out of his shirt, just like holding a puppy. It's like the most hysterical thing, and we're just like,
It is.
yeah. Eventually, I had to come to recommends for beating him up a little bit. Like he was like, "Can I come in your room?" I'm like, no.
I'm pretty sure.
I said, "Can I come in your room?"
I'm pretty sure the same year I met Hunter and Zach at the same time, and I promise you, I thought Zach was the younger brother.
You definitely acted it, didn't you?
Yeah, like
fuck you.
good. Yeah.
Zach, you still laugh at your own part.
Yeah, come on, Zach. He's like, oh yeah.
Man, I'm not gonna lie to you. I just got this air purifier that has an air quality indicator on it.
Oh,
I waited till I had a good one. I farted right into it, and it went yellow. And I was like, "That's right."
That's right.
Oh my god,
dude, I'm totally like Shelby had to grow up with me, and I'm sorry, but I know it was always Hunter and Shelby getting in fights with each other.
It's so true.
I would sometimes be like the whisper in the wind, like Hunter called you a dummy.
Zach was the antagonist.
Go up to Hunter and be
time.
like, Shelby said your butt's big, and it's like float away. Fight.
But I did. I mean, I hung with them. Like we all three would brawl. I mean, that's part of my culture. You know, like I wrestled horses and I wrestled my brothers. Like that's just what we did.
We were also like tight knit though. We would go, you know, gallivanting through the woods, making
airsoft wars.
Airsoft wars in the middle of the night. Someone would scream, and you'd be like, "Are you okay?" And they're like, "Gotcha!" Bam, bam, bam. Like, shoot you right up. All that kind of breaking horses. Shelby would get me out there. I would be in the pen. I'm like, "Is she supposed to be running this fast?" And the horse was running around the pen. I'm like,
that was a sight.
I keep like, yeah, no, it was awful. Llamas. We went through the llama. Like my parents one day were like, "What animal do you want?" And I was like, "A cow."
None.
Cow, yeah, none was not an option. But what animal do you want? And I said I wanted a cow. Cows are my favorite. Barrett, I think you and Trent both have seen. I know I have a big cow painting in my room.
Big cow painting. You tried to tell me it was Gabrielle's, but I knew it was yours.
A cow was my favorite animal. We had a horse colic one time, and we went down to UGA, remember? And they had the goat that was the girlfriend of the cow. And this cow was so cool.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Say that again. The goat. The goat that was the girlfriend of the cow.
The cow. So they kept this goat and this cow together.
That happens.
The cow, it was a cow, so the cow was the girl, but the goat was her boyfriend. That's what they told us, right, Shelby? I'm not crazy.
I mean, you're crazy, but you're right about this.
This is on Georgia, so UGA has to answer for this.
Okay.
Barrett, these are your people.
Your people.
Ultimately, I have no defense for that. I may have.
He's like, keep going.
Yeah, I dated girls in Georgia. I never. They do have a very good veterinarian school though. So I know.
For sure.
Well, so we brought who was it? Angel or Cricket? One of the
Cricket
two.
beat up Angel.
Yeah, and so it was colicking, and UGA was like, "We'll take a look, whatever it was." Hunter and Shelby and I thought the coolest thing ever, outside of Shelby like being, you know, animal vet MD on there. Like she was like, the horse needs to be all right, but Hunter and I and Shelby eventually found like she's like, yeah, the cow is cool, and I can't remember their names. The cow would lick you, let you pet it, and by the way, cow tongues are like cat tongues, except for like with like forks that long on them. They're ridiculous. And like it was the coolest thing. I was like, cows are the best. You can eat them, you can pet them, you can get milk from them, you could ride them, they could pull stuff for you. Like what? They're the best animal ever.
There's a couple of those I don't think they offer at the petting, you know.
Well, Barrett, that's what brings me to my next point. Like I was saying, they asked me what animal do you want because they were trying to get me to quit playing video games and come outside.
So true. That was their mission.
No, absolutely. And I was like, I want a cow, and my parents were like, we're not getting a cow. I don't
like,
remember. Nope, and so what did I do? I named a random animal off the top of my head. I said a llama, and my mom and dad were like, done. And I was like, what? And they got me a llama. And it was the worst random decision I've ever made because then I had
decision.
It never spit on me, but it spit on everybody else.
I'm pretty sure it spit.
And I named him Tommy Llama.
Okay, clearly Shelby picked the horses. So how did you come to your mom and dad and be like, hey mom, I want to race horses? Like how did that conversation go?
Hold on.
They were so down.
You named it Tommy Llama,
Yeah.
like Tommy Bahama.
Yeah.
And then Tommy got a girlfriend, Dalai Lama.
Oh, dude. So when we got the girl, we named her Dalai Lama. As soon as we let her out of the trailer into the pen, Tommy had her on the ground making babies instantly. And so what did we do? What did we do? We're like, well, Tommy Llama was such an asshole. Eventually, like, you would have to, and I'll come back to it, but like you couldn't like just go pet him. You had to like entice him with food, be like, come here, yeah.
Literally catch him.
Yeah. And so like when he was on her and she's like, I just got out of a car ride. And he was like, no, it's baby making time. But you could go up and like pet him and he would just be like, like, get away from me. Be like, no, now you're here. I'm petting you.
I got you.
Yeah, I got you now, big guy. You ain't going nowhere.
Oh,
But we had
God.
Shelby had what it was a big circle pen where she would
A round pen.
break and train the horses, and she would always be in there like, yeah, Walker Texas Ranger, just making them fucking run. And one time we got the llama to get in there, and we would sit on the side, and like Shelby or my brother would like coax the llama over to me, and I would ride him. He didn't like it at all.
You forgot that Mom bet us $1 to jump on his back and ride him.
Yeah, so we made $3 that day because we all did it. There's a picture. At
Come
least
on,
of me
Kelly!
riding him.
Oh, $1 for
And,
your
like,
children. For your children.
I'm sitting here riding this llama, and so
Yeah.
he absolutely wants none of it. And like I'm grabbing his head so he won't spit at me. I'm like, ride. No, don't turn around. Because the whole time he's literally like, I'm gonna spit right in your mouth.
You're like dodging.
Like he's just like trying, and I'm like, no, this way.
I'd like to point out to PETA that I did not know any of the story was going to occur. And so if there,
We
if
were
there
kids.
anyone
We
from
were
PETA,
kids. We
yeah.
didn't know any better.
Yeah, they barely had 100 pounds on them. Like it wasn't a ton. But we're gonna ride them. If the Tibetan people can ride them, then we're gonna ride them. Okay.
First of all, I'd like to point out I don't think the Tibetan people ride their llamas. Carry stuff. I think
Whatever,
that's
man.
What,
We had a donkey. I rode that thing too. We had two, Sandy and Princess.
Princess Rose.
I've been kicked by horses multiple times, especially Shelby's horse Cricket. Kicked me right in the
Yes.
thigh. Had a horseshoe print on my thigh.
Hunter got the worst of it.
Oh, Hunter got bucked off a horse. So there's a thing called bareback riding a horse, where it's what it sounds like. You don't have a saddle, you have no gear, you may have reins.
Didn't Hunter almost die? I think y'all told me this story. Hunter almost died, right?
Hunter
Real bad.
directly got kicked in the face.
He had a
with
horseshoe
braces
print
on.
here.
Yeah, it broke his braces. He went and he had like a massive concussion. He wasn't stringing words together when he came home. It was awful. But that's something Shelby and my dad really got into. Y'all would go trail riding with
Yes.
Cricket and Angel, and that my dad's horse was Angel. Shelby had Cricket, but I always thought that was the coolest thing ever. Hunter and I are riding dirt bikes and just it's Chapin, White Rock. We're just cruising around dirt bikes. But Shelby, my dad, and Sandy was our trail dog, little Beagle Lab mix. Sit there and go right with him. Sandy would come back first and be like disgustingly muddy and wet, and then Shelby and my dad would come back and like
Just because she just want to get that belly wet.
Oh, dude.
Yes.
Oh, and then the horses come back, and Shelby and my dad are like covered like knee high into dirt and mud, and the horses are covered, but everyone's having a good time. That's something that was really cool to watch.
I wish more kids did that today. Like it was the best childhood. Like that's my favorite time of my life for sure. Like growing up.
And I think the biggest bonding experience, Shelby, that you and I and Hunter had, especially with our parents, was the goats. I think goats was like we helped get goats give birth. We bottle fed goats. Dude, it goes like for me, cats, dogs, goats. Those are the three animals that I love. Like goats.
Even
goats,
now, Zach's like,
well, I'm pretty
goats.
sure
You
for
have chickens.
Shelby it
You
goes.
need goats.
It probably goes cats, dogs, chickens. Yeah, I'm about to say for Shelby. Cat, dogs.
I don't know. I know
That'd
Shelby.
be-
I know for Shelby for sure.
It might be
that
chickens,
goats are out
dogs,
there.
cats.
Seriously. Yes.
Goats are very much like like we had pygmy goats. They never forget the bottle. You go out there to go feed like a newborn baby goat, and the 2 5-year-old pygmy goats are like, I remember me.
Yeah, I'm coming.
And they would, and sometimes you'd be like, oh, you can finish it off, and they'd be like, "Bah, bah, 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 bah," like sucking on the bottle. You're just like, dude, farm animals are crazy, y'all.
This was our culture,
how-
you guys.
It
They
seriously
shaped us.
We'll not get into. I never personally got into one, but Shelby and my brother and some of Shelby's friends got into crap fights.
Yes, Zach,
What?
that's a true story.
You all
Say
were
it,
throwing.
Shelby.
You all were throwing poop like monkeys.
Fresh piles of horse poop.
Oh.
That did happen. She deserved it. Okay. So
this sounds like white privilege. I'm gonna let you know that.
there's no privilege about this at all.
Trent, this is called hillbilly. This is called I bet you won't. I bet you I will. You better not. Here
No,
I
you
go.
didn't. All right, here it comes. Exactly.
You get no bigger gratification than when you throw a pile of horse shit at someone and it hits them right in the face.
I mean, it's just grass, you know. It's grass.
It
and
don't
water.
snow that much. It doesn't snow that much in South Carolina, so you're not snowball fighting. You're horse ball fighting.
So what you're saying is you're throwing steamy shit.
Yeah, there was a steamy pile or two that was thrown for sure.
When you get mad enough, when you get gotten mad enough, then you go find the fresh pile.
I had
You're
a
like,
best friend at the time that
Oh
was
my
quite
God.
antagonistic, and she started it with an old stale pile. So
Yeah.
then I just had to level up a little bit,
Fight. Yeah, it just
and that's what
instantly
happened.
is.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
And then Hunter and one of his buddies wanted in on the action. So there you go.
So to
Oh.
wrap it
Bro.
around, that's a positive of being raised. You we did shit that you don't normal people
Want
never
to talk
done. You're like,
about?
Yeah.
Sure.
I'm about to say, like, come on, Zach, you can't say we did shit and then
Oh,
Pun
no,
intended.
I didn't, dude, homie. I was sitting on the back like I'm gonna go play Guitar Hero. I'm not throwing shit at each other. This is getting out of hand. But the rest of it, yes. The thing that pissed me off about the llama is I had to shave it with clippers. And dude, he didn't like me riding him, much less having a noisy thing clipping his coat. So
Zach's like,
it's
I want to play
basically-
video games. I want to play video games. Like, this
yeah,
is dumb.
I literally I wouldn't have had to done that to a cow. I would have had to brush a cow, right? And the cow would have been cool.
your
Maybe I would have had to
parents
milk
was
it.
never giving you that cow, Zach. Okay?
No, they eat way too much.
Yeah, like, come on.
Well, when I get land, I'll be having me a cow and being like, see?
See? Easy.
I do want to get a mini cow. I do. They're like
They have
mules or
mini
whatever.
cows.
Wait. I'm
Yes.
with Trent. Mini cows.
Dude, where do y'all live? Yes, mini cows. They're
Well,
like
I live
not
in
even
Lexington.
200
I
pounds.
haven't seen it.
Shelby, we live in
Haven't seen it.
neighborhoods.
But
You know,
good.
I have neighbors, you know. I don't have 5 acres. I have neighbors, but you know.
Whatever. Y'all are
I'm gonna be
missing
completely
out.
honest. When I think of mini cows, I just think of plural. Just look at all those mini cows.
No, there's
Look at
mini.
those
Yes, they're awesome.
little, like
Mhm.
little mini goats.
You know, we talking
Mini-
about like okay, because y'all had a Great Dane at one point in time. So is it about
She
the
was
size
bigger.
of a Great Dane?
No, the Great Dane was taller.
Then a mini cow?
Yes, you guys got to look these up for real.
Wow.
They're awesome.
Okay, how
be
much
fair-
are mini cows going for?
Our Great Dane,
How much
our
is a
Great
mini
Dane was,
cow? I
our
didn't
Great
know
Dane was
this.
bigger than our donkey.
There's
to be
somebody in
fair.
Chapin that sells them, but I mean they're expensive. I mean I would roughly guesstimate about $1,000, maybe give or
Good
take, if it's
night.
registered and stuff.
Oh man. A cow.
Registered
Does
mini
it give
cow.
milk? Does it give milk?
Y'all,
Should
Yeah,
I
yeah.
walk my mini cow down the street? Bro, they would be like,
mini cow-
yo, y'all see?
Does the milk? Does the milk come in little mini containers?
Yeah,
Little-
like
little-
little
little-
mini ones. Oh,
I just
man,
met my
we'll
cow.
be
You
like
guys want a
that.
shot of cow milk?
Zach, you're gonna get a Gabrielle be like, we're getting a mini cow. I don't care what you say.
No, I want
my baby is growing
I
up
wanna-
off a mini cow.
I want a full blown cow, baby. I want the real McCoy. I gotta
I
have
don't
it.
know, Zach, man. It seems like the mini cow's the game right
It's
now.
the way to
Like,
go.
The
that's
mini
it.
cows sound amazing.
It,
don't give
sounds,
me
it
room.
sounds like you don't need a lot of room. I think I
Dude.
got enough acres for the mini cow.
Yes,
if I,
for sure.
If I can afford to have one real cow, like classic Chick-fil-A Moo Moo cow, like
Okay.
then I got room for a mini one to come on in.
You know what?
You know?
And I did you a favor, Zach,
mini
because
cow,
I was
okay.
definitely not going to say after finding out your desire for cows, I was not going to mention that your favorite bowl game was probably the Chick-fil-A bowl.
Shut
I
up,
had a
Florida
feeling
State.
that
I was
probably
actually with Trent when we played in that. We were partying
He
in a hotel,
was.
and I got white girl
We were
drunk in
partying
Eddie
in the
Kane
hotel.
High. Yeah, it was not good.
He did get. Oh my god.
All right.
Oh
So-
my god.
so- we're eating away at a whole lot of time. Zach, did you have a this or that? Did you want to throw that out there?
I've tried to come up with a couple. I couldn't find my list, but for Shelby,
Oh.
I'll give her the ones I've thought of.
I got
Oh, great.
one for
All
it
right.
too. I got one for it too.
Let me.
All right, so
Let me.
yeah,
Yo,
partying. I got white girls.
You want me to
drunk
go?
in Eddie Kane High. Yeah, it was not good.
What's that? What's in the background right here?
We're
what's that?
we're eating away at a whole lot of time. Zach, did you have a this or that? Did you, did you want to throw that? Not supposed to be playing. Let me fix it. Here. There we go.
Okay. Are you going first, Zach, or me?
Well, I was gonna let the theme song go out. I'll go
okay.
ahead. First one I'm gonna do is yeah, it's going. All right. So Shelby, Coke or Pepsi?
Coke.
All right. Mustard-based vinegar or mustard-based vinegar? Mustard-based barbecue or vinegar?
I know what you're getting to.
Yeah.
Mustard.
Mustard for sure. All right.
I'm certain.
I knew that was coming. All right. So dark coffee, or you have to drink it with some zest, some milk. You black or
I'm in between a sugar-free creamer, so like basically black.
Black. All right. Let Trent go.
E-learning for the rest of your kid's life, or going back to school not knowing if they can
Did you see the face she made? Did you see the face?
If I hear e-learning, it just like senses a trigger. It just comes out.
Well, how would you feel if this was the new normal? Like my son is not 2 yet.
The
She Sheds internet is she shedding.
He's all frozen.
Daycare. So he's going to school, for a couple of hours. So it's not that bad. But I would, man, that e-learning, man. I've heard so many bad things.
I just want to choke whoever instilled these regulations. Like, it's bad. I mean, he has to meet on Zoom with his teacher 4 times a day, and there's work all in between it. And if he misses one, he gets an absence for the whole day. And his work starts at 7:45, and he's not done until like 2:30.
What grade is he?
He's second grade.
Second grade, so a 7-year-old.
Yes. And he y'all obviously have heard how we were raised. I've never been the parent that's like, here's my phone, like shut up, essentially.
Sure,
here's my phone.
sure.
Like, he is technologically ignorant. So this, him having an iPad on top of that is been a whole different level of craziness. So to answer the this or that, I would much rather him go back to face-to-face. I hope that's what happens come January. Yeah. Even just for his social skills, it's crazy, y'all. It's crazy. Yeah. I feel bad for parents that have multiple kids doing the e-learning. It's hard enough having a toddler and him, but it's wild. It's really crazy.
Well, they're saying study-wise that from 15 to 20, or that age limit, when they're first getting into high school, that's the worst right now as far as suicidal.
I'm sure
they're not able to, get out social skills like you're saying, and able to talk to their friends, able to go to those football games and just chill and actually be a teenager again. So I can imagine what's going on in the younger age. But man, if I was in high school, just think about last year's high school wise, to not graduate normally like everybody else did. That's sad. Really sad. Yeah. I don't know what I would have did if they would have said we're not having a graduation. As far as 2009, if that would have happened, I probably would have been like, what? Y'all are tripping. Everybody else had a graduation. I'm definitely having my graduation.
I'd have been fine.
My
little girl, one of her first words was mask. You know what I mean? What in the world? That's the time we live in.
Wow.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
That's what I'm thinking. Just imagine being a young kid and one day, all of a sudden, everybody has a...
There's that she shed.
Look at his face.
Zone. That's like a Twilight Zone episode. Like
Trent, you keep
Twilight
freezing
Zone?
and it is hysterical.
Oh, sorry. Am I good? Can you hear me?
You're good.
I don't know yet.
You're good.
Am I good now? Okay. Let me open the door. Okay, it's like a Twilight Zone episode.
Internet, get in here.
Yeah, I know. It's like a Twilight Zone episode as far as like you remember whenever the lady's head was wrapped up and like everybody was like, hey, you had this big surgery, you're not gonna look like your normal self, and then all of a sudden when she took off her wrap, she was actually normal and everybody else had the pig face.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like it's got to be like that for kids right now, as far as
That
seeing
is some Harrison Bergeron type.
yeah,
stuff,
like
man.
to see everybody in mass, like that's got to be terrifying.
This is the Butterface's time.
Yeah. Oh my God. If you're an ugly dude in 2020, you should have no problem, brother.
If you're good from here up,
You're
She only
good.
says that. She only says that because at least one of us on here has put on our 2019. It would have been funnier if I said by 2019.
I
that
still
me?
don't get. I don't even that. Shoo,
Is that me?
You put on your COVID-19?
You're quarantine
No.
15.
Yeah, you're 15 pounds, man.
Nothing.
Oh,
I just jumped
You just
2,000
jumped-
pounds on it.
Yeah, 2,000.
Put on my 2019. Okay.
oh, this or that. So that joke for the rest of your life, or
Look, they're not
The
all
baby's
gold.
crying. I really am just kidding.
Baby's
They're
crying.
not all gold.
somebody's like, I gotta go. I can't hear you anymore.
Okay. It's getting really staticky right now.
Like just frozen.
I don't know. We
I want to
we
know
could do
my
like
face
you, or
face.
you were freezing. You were going like.
I wanted to know what my face looked like. God damn it. I knew I looked
It's
crazy.
done it at least twice. Two good ones where you were like,
It's because
Yeah.
I had the door closed, man. I'm trying to have the he shed all sanctioned off. It's not working. I gotta get like a extra box out here that like lets me go crazy. But it's
now
not
your
that
neighbor,
far.
now your neighbors know you got the door on. They're like, I don't know what that black guy's doing in his shed. He goes in there every Sunday for 2 hours.
All right. Last thing we'll do real quick is
Irresponsible headlines.
we'll do our irresponsible
Shelby,
headline.
you're gonna love it.
All right. Here's your image. Now it's not necessarily funny. It's not, this is to me, this is the advertisement for the worst Airbnb ever.
Mm.
The hell is this?
Looks like something out of
Essentially-
Schitt's Creek.
Yeah.
Wait, is this a photograph or a drawing?
No, it's actually a photograph. What you
That's
see
a
there is
photograph?
yeah, this is out of the fires out of the west right now. This is actually a photograph of a hotel. I'm sorry, a motel, really. But this is the results of.
Dude,
of
there's
what's
no
going on.
way. That sign is not a photo. That sign is not a photograph. That's
Yeah, it really looks drawn.
melted.
dude. That looks
It's
like a
melted.
painting.
I'm telling you, it's
That's
melted.
crazy.
That's plastic on the sign.
Yeah,
It's
Zach,
melted.
I'm looking at the. If you look at the cement, like right beside, you can really.
I
see
could buy the
curve.
cars. I'm not buying the sign.
No,
I'm
not-
not buying.
It's not the cars.
Totally
Look at the sidewalk, like where the trees are, like around the little, like you get what I'm saying? Like it looks
I
real.
get.
totally
Okay.
It's crazy though.
It's totally.
That's so sad.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
awful.
Well, I can
Awful.
go ahead and go first. This is where I
Well-
pulled over to use the bathroom. I'm not welcome back.
Opening spring of 2021, the Oak Park Motel, now with fewer rooms. Sorry.
I don't know if this is a good idea. With the fires just happening, I don't
It's
know.
too soon. Too
It
It's
soon.
might
gonna
be
have-
too soon.
It's gonna have a new. It's gonna have a new. Like you read that right? It's the Oak Park moat. There's now a moat full of alligators for you to feed and look at.
Oh my god. Well, if I was gonna say something, it'd be like the Oak Park Motel is now selling cheesy pizzas from their sign.
It does look like a piece of pizza. Oh, welcome
It
back
looks
to the
like a
hut.
Disney cheese pizza. That's what Disney cheese
Yeah.
pizza look like.
Nobody does pizza like the hut.
The Goofy movie. What's it? The Goofy Troop? Goof
Oh, yeah.
Troops?
Leaning power of a chizza.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. That's so there you go. That's our irresponsible headlines this week.
Oh my
So,
gosh.
That was bad.
sorry. I know that was slightly morbid, but you know.
It might have been too soon, Bear. We might be canceled after this for that. But
Oh, God. Did you just get us canceled? Oh, no.
There's no way we get canceled.
No way.
Not for that.
No.
Finding out about some of the things that Zach used to do with his llama, that potentially could get us
You're
canceled.
right. You're right.
Oh, dude,
As
I'll
long as
fight
there's
Pete
no
all day.
video.
Bring it on.
Okay.
As long as there's no video evidence of that.
Can we get before we wrap it up? Can we get to this? How does everybody feel about Joe Rogan holding a debate between Biden and Trump? How does everybody?
I don't think it's legit. I don't think it's going to happen.
It won't happen.
I don't know,
Makes
man.
no sense.
I don't know. I mean, but they probably don't want somebody that's not so political and not like news wise. So you got to understand, like Joe Rogan is technically for the people because he's not technically owned by anybody. He's not owned by he's not owned by a CNN or a Fox News.
He's owned by somebody.
I mean, he's owned by Spotify technically right now.
No, he's so I listen to Joe Rogan all the time. It depends on the guest. There's things. Joe Rogan's a comedian, right? So there's a bit of levity to anything he's gonna say.
I mean, but he's more human in his comedian. Like when he's talking about stuff on his show, he's able to actually express the goods and the bads of how he sees from both sides. He really hasn't bashed Trump totally on his stuff, but he hasn't said the most best things about Biden either. So I feel like how he's been playing it is kind of like in the middle already. So that I feel like that's probably the main reason why they're even considering it, because
they're considering it.
I don't think either campaign is even remotely considering it. Trump replied.
I don't think Biden wants it.
Well, I don't think Biden doesn't need it. I mean, it doesn't make sense. Like, what questions are Joe Rogan going to ask? Are going to get? I mean, like, I can't.
I do think Joe Rogan would be fine moderating the two, and I do think he would ask them like
real questions, like we could really get answers. You know how you've been saying, Barrett, like these reporters need to ask certain questions that they really have to answer. I feel like Joe Rogan is able to articulate those questions. Like, we really need an answer for this. Like, don't give me no bullshit around the bush. Give me a real solid answer of how you're going to solve these problems.
Well, and he would also, Shelby, you'll get this too. Like when Shelby does it all the time, just like, shut your mouth, shut your fucking mouth. Like he would totally like do that. Be like,
that's bullshit.
You're
that's
not
bullshit.
Like he would. You know what? Send 2020 out with a bang. Dude, put him on.
It'll be
that's the best way.
It'll be entertaining.
It'll be entertaining. It's like the WWE right now with politics, man. Anything's up for grabs.
And totally, if he asks them he's gonna ask them if they've ever done hallucinogenics, DMT, or something like that. Has any of you ever smoked weed?
You know, he's gonna ask them, are they gonna decriminalize marijuana? Like, that's got to be one of the first things he's got to ask.
Alien.
You know, that's, man, in 2020, marijuana shouldn't be illegal in the United States, especially if companies are profiting off of it. That's just point blank, period. It shouldn't be happening. Nobody should be in jail if they've been trafficking marijuana. That doesn't make any sense right now with people, with billionaires making so much money off of it. It shouldn't be happening. Like, that's
ridiculous. Totally agree.
I think Joe Rogan he'll put them in a corner that they have to be like, yo, and when they say it during that, they'll have to stand on it when it comes election time. Like, okay, you said this, so when is this gonna happen?
Well, see, and I do agree, but I do have to say I listen to Joe Rogan purely as entertainment. There's good points that can be made, but then there's times where you're like, come on, homie. Like, I mean, like he recently was in trouble for dead naming Caitlyn Jenner, which I'm over there going like, well, dude, you were Bruce Jenner, like, but I respect it, right? I respect that that's that person's journey and they wouldn't like you to not, but you can't go like, Caitlyn Jenner set the record in the Olympics.
But when he also said it was kind of like relying to he was talking about a guy that turned into a girl that was
because of the
MMA
Kardashian. Well, yes. Yeah. Well, no, he was talking about the Kardashians coming in and turning him into a. He did a whole stand-up like 2 years ago about it. So him mentioning it, then it gets picked up. I think that's like, you guys
they're trying to come back and get him. Okay.
Yeah, like you're completely like he's explaining how the joke was made. He goes, "What if it is they remove your marbles? You have this mountain of marbles and living with two women."
Now you're hitting on exactly what I think the purpose of Joe Rogan's show is mostly just to re-hit everybody with the stand-up he used to do. Like
Barry, you might be onto something, Barry. I never thought about it like that.
I listen to Joe Rogan, and 90% of his show is exaggerated expansion on jokes that he told in stand-up clubs like 3, 5, 10 years ago. I hear most of what he talks about is the exact same thing he said for the last 5 years.
I agree,
and I feel like he repeats himself too a little bit, right?
But like when he has somebody like Neil deGrasse Tyson on, he asks them those stupid questions that like, how heavy is the sun? Like, all right, dude, people want to know that. Like, I love when that's why like, when I want to watch when he has certain guests, Elon Musk. Joe Rogan's gonna bring Elon Musk's.
He's gonna bring him out. He's gonna bring him out. Yeah.
Like he's gonna take Neil deGrasse Tyson and ask him awesome questions. He can get crazy people. Like he's had Edward Snowden twice. Who else is talking to Edward Snowden?
I would be willing to bet that they will not get Trump's campaign or Biden's campaign on it because they only get 3 debates. They only get 3 debates, and those 3 debates are already planned. Joe Rogan. Even though Trump said he would do it, like Trump responded in a tweet, yes, or I'll do it, or I'm in, or whatever it was he said. There's first of all, Trump talks out of his ass.
Of course.
The only reason he even knows who Joe Rogan is because he may have been to a fight one time that Joe Rogan was standing on the side.
He went to a fight that Joe Rogan was doing while he was president.
Did he? Well, see, I think Trump. There's no way either one of them are going to show up at a Joe Rogan podcast.
You'll get a lot of views though. You'll get a lot of views.
Yeah, I'm about to say like I agree, Barrett, but I'm with Trent. Bring it.
It
would be entertaining for sure.
Absolutely.
It's clickbait.
Bring it. I would totally if I was running for president. Bring out Joe Rogan. Bring out Joe Rogan. Because who else is like Chris Wallace? I don't want to talk to.
Yeah, no, like
you're not gonna ask me any.
I want somebody, like you said, I want somebody that's gonna give some real questions, man. Like I don't want the generic ass questions. We don't need that in 2020. We need somebody that's gonna get straight to the point.
I do agree that we definitely need questions asked of our politicians that are going to either. Basically, I just fully believe is we have to force these politicians to answer questions. But I
do feel like Joe Rogan would totally like because Joe Rogan made a very awesome point about how messed up keeping these kids in cages over the Mexican border is. And like he goes, imagine that. He goes, you'd be a feral animal if they had your kid in the cage. You'd go in there like Wolverine, ripping shit off hinges. And if he asked Trump and them about it, he's like, Donald, you have kids in cages, and if Trump tried to go, well, Obama, he goes, no, you. Like, right now. He would be like, you got to answer that. Like, and he would drill Biden about shit. I mean, I do think that I would totally welcome it. So, last piece on that.
I agree.
Gotta ask.
Well, then I think I think that would be entertaining. I just have so many doubts that they'd be able to get that. I just don't think they'd be able to get it to happen. It's not gonna happen.
It should be Trump. It should be Joe Rogan.
I don't think Trump.
Then Craig Melvin. Craig Melvin from South Carolina. Yeah. I would love to see Craig Melvin debate him. And then there's got to be one person, maybe Gayle King. I can see Gayle King doing it. Yeah,
you got to make him. You got to put him through the gauntlet. Make him earn the presidency this time around.
Yeah, man, we can't play this year, man. Like Trump, if you get back in, you got 4 more years. You got to actually do something that's worthwhile that we've never seen before. That's how I look at it. If you really want to get this back in there, it's got to be something worthwhile.
I agree.
And truthfully, that is something we're not out of them because the Republicans didn't even have a platform to stand on during the RNC. Like they did not promote their platform whatsoever. And then if you ask them, they literally said, "Oh, it's just gonna be the same thing we did before." Well, okay, so the wall, repealing Obamacare. What else? What else was there? Honestly, there, and they
These
didn't do
peace
either one of
deals,
those.
these
In 4
peace deals
years.
that they're so-called signing, these peace deals that they had to what is these peace deals right now? Like what is that? Does anybody have
the Christian nation with you're talking about like the PLO, the Pakistan.
Yeah,
the agreement between, it's all bullshit.
Yeah,
why
is that even important right now?
We'll get into that, Trent. We'll talk about that because that's a people pleaser. That's a Christian people pleaser.
He's honestly he's trying to make sure that there's. See, I got a whole article on the Trump Nobel Peace Prize thing that's just
one guy who nominated him for that had nominated him before. It's one man.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
It is.
So how many people actually vote on the Nobel Peace Prize?
A lot. He's not gonna win it.
There's no possible way. Although I will point out, and this isn't to say that Obama wasn't a good president or that he was a bad president or whatever. I will point out that Obama literally had to do nothing to get nominated to be a Nobel Prize winner.
I can imagine.
It's fair enough.
Even President Obama himself said, there are so many other people that should have been nominated for this besides me.
You sure about
I
this?
should not have been awarded.
Him being black was the Nobel Peace Prize. Like that's like, hey,
holy shit, you did it.
You did it. Yeah, here.
He fully admitted that he had no business winning that, and I agree with him. He was awarded very quickly after being elected president, and it was kind of like I had the same reaction. Like, what
isn't it a lot of money? Like when you get that, like isn't it like $1 million?
You get $1 million. You get $1 million.
That's crazy.
And he probably donated it. It's like one of those things where you go like,
if Trump were to win, he's just gonna put it in his pocket. He's gonna keep that.
God, I haven't seen $1 million in like under a million years.
Since my dad gave it to me when I was a young boy.
Yep. Exactly.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Shelby, for joining us.
Thank you, guys.
Welcome anytime. Zach King, Trent Clark, Barrett Gruber. Real quick, just want to make sure, I know I had something here. Please make sure, whatever you're listening to us on, that you subscribe, rate, and review, regardless of which platform you're on. Also, don't forget, we're still looking for you to give us your Leave It in 2020. We do have a growing list that I write down every time I get something and we'll do a big episode of the year.
We gotta ask Shelby right now before we get out. Shelby, what is one thing you want to leave in 2020? It can be a word. It can be
e-learning.
E-learning.
That is on the list.
Put it on the list, Barrett. Put it on the list.
Write that down. For anyone else, you can also you can call, leave us a message 803-672-0533, or you can email us the show at theallaboutnothing.com. We've got details that we'll be putting up on the website for that. Theallaboutnothing.com.
Trent, what you doing in your she shed?
It's my neighbor. Hey, Bill. I'm doing a podcast. Give me 1 second, okay?
Leave it in. Leave it
All
in.
right. You too.
That's great. All right. That'll do it for this week.
Bill, Clark, shit, leave me alone.
Zach King, Shelbie King. Thank you very much for those of you who watch us on YouTube, and for those of you listening at home. Thank you very much. We'll do it again next week. Have a good week.